Just sit there, bud.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock, it's past 6, sorry for the delay. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and then we may have a couple board members that join us shortly after we get started. So with that, it is May 13th, 2025. I call this regular meeting of the PCSSD School Board to order. Ms. Smith, would you please call the roll?
Ward. Tate. Here. Smith. Potter.
Here.
Maynard.
Here.
Keller. Delaney.
Present. Okay, would you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, it's May. We traditionally don't have a student board rep, so I don't have that on my agenda. So we'll go right to our celebrations and recognitions. Our first one is with Ms. Duff, Q4 Inspiration and Education Award. Sorry.
It's weird being at the very beginning of the meeting.
I know.
Well, thank you all so much for allowing me to present my favorite award of the quarter. Although May is a very special month because I also get to present to you some other folks here in just a moment that deserve some recognition. But the Inspiration and Education Award is an award that we do 4 times a year. This is eligible for any PCSSD employee. They can be a teacher, they can be support staff, they could be a principal. We've had the gamut of award winners. And this particular time around, we had quite a few nominations. I think we had 58 nominations, multiple people receiving multiple nominations. And my favorite is when we get nominations from students as well. So we had students, parents, and fellow employees all sitting in nominations this time. And it was a very close race, if you will, with this one. This person won by 3 votes. So it was a good quarter for nominees. I'd like to read, there were 7 nominations for this person. I'm going to read excerpts from just a few of them. I would like to recognize this person as a remarkable individual, but also reflect on the quiet leadership and unwavering dedication that this person truly inspires greatness in education. This person is one of the most loyal people you'll ever meet. This person's commitment hasn't wavered year after year. This person always puts others before themselves. This person stands up before even being asked and says yes without hesitation and solves problems without seeking praise. This person works behind the scenes, avoiding the spotlight whenever possible, but make no mistake, our success, resilience, and growth have been on the foundation this person helped create. More than anything, this person is a mentor and a role model. This person doesn't just teach fill in the blank. This person teaches patience, integrity, and the quiet strength of showing up day after day for a purpose greater than yourself. This person has become an essential and respected member of our school community through this person's dedication and years of hands-on learning, and by listening to those around to understand what is needed. This person is kind, genuine, and that this person's empathy shines through in a way that treats everyone with respect and dignity. This person has the ability to connect with others through humor and humility, making this person all the more approachable and well-loved. This person paid close attention, asked questions, and never hesitated to step up when needed. This person's determination to understand the unique challenges that educators face has made this person not only more effective, but deeply respected by those who work with them. This person has been a driving force in our school department, PCSSD. This person's unique management style has certainly kept everyone on their toes. This person's uncanny ability to find the silver lining in every situation is impeccable. Even when things are at their most chaotic, this person can always find a way to make us laugh, usually at someone else's expense. This person exemplifies the spirit of excellence in education, not because of a title or a degree, but because of the heart, effort, and character this person brings to PCSSD every single day. And if you were in cabinet this morning, I lied on who the winner was to help throw them off. But Jimmy Hogg, can you please come up? So, for those of you that don't know, Jimmy is retiring on June 30th after 28 years of working with PCSSD, and his team went above and beyond. In fact, Juanita submitted her nomination in October for Mr. Hogg. And I don't normally read the nominations after they come in, but there was one that I couldn't read because it would have given it away, but I'd like to read it now. And this is from your best friend, ChatGPT. For the one who plugs us in, a tribute to Jimmy Hogg. His nomination for the PCSSD Inspiration and Education Award. In halls where tech meets tangled wires, where systems crash and spark small fires, there stands a man both calm and keen, the district's quiet, steadfast machine. For 28 years he's walked this road, with steady hands from service bold. A veteran, a mentor, a curious mind, the kind of leader you were lucky to find. He overthinks, it's part of his charm, but his planning keeps us safe from harm. Need a fix? He's already near, cracking a joke to calm your fear. With boots well worn from hikes and hunts, and the wisdom he shares, never just once, Jimmy leads with a loyal heart, turning each opportunity into a brand new start. He stirs up trouble, yes, it's true, the fun kind that inspires a crew. He questions norms, he raises bars, he powers dreams like district stars. He may love ChatGPT, we won't take offense. His human touch is what makes the most sense. A friend, a guide, a name well known, the roots of PCSSD he's helped to grow. So here's to Jimmy, our techie, our guide, with inspiration he does not try to hide. For leadership, service, and excellence too, there's no one more deserving than you. Board, do you have any comments, or Dr. Guess?
I call it 15. I call it 15. Make a stay.
I think we rescind that resignation.
Yeah, it rescinded. Yeah.
I appreciate the help with my tech challenged self.
I haven't been here long this time, but I was here quite a while the other time, and I think those comments and that poem were very accurate. There's a lot of these techie folks that knew you were going to have, this was going to happen tonight. Did you see all them around? They weren't here for no reason.
I saw quite.
Yeah. But I think all of that is true. You've been an inspiration to the district. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, sir, for everything. You guys have saved me more than once, so thank you.
I have a great team.
And you know this comes with that beautiful $250 fake check. Vanita and Connie will make sure this gets on the actual real check.
Not in my account.
Yes. But we'll take a photo with your team. If you guys can hang around until after these other award recognitions, I'd love to get a photo with you guys. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right,
Okay.
you're back up.
Next. All right, I mentioned to you that this is my favorite month because of our This is the 5th year in a row we've done the Teacher of the Year recognition. It's a state-led program that we've never been a part of until 4 years ago, and so this is now our 5th year, but this is the inaugural year that we are doing support staff. So each school building and then district office had the opportunity to nominate somebody for the support staff team, so a classified employee. And so most of our support staff individuals are here this evening, and so I'm going to go through and read their name. If you all will stand when your name is called, and then at the end, we'll do the whole hold your applause until the end, if you don't mind. And I'm going off of who checked in with me, so if I missed your name, I apologize, and just like say, hey, you forgot me, and I'll say your name. So we'll start with Chenal Elementary, Susan Duncan. College Station, stay standing. You gotta stay until we're done. And you're first, so you can stand for a while. College Station, Lakeisha Nash. Crystal Hill, Ree Altum. Harris Elementary, Jesse Watson. Oak Grove Elementary, Janet Peach. Pine Forest Elementary, Jesse Thomas. Sherwood Elementary, Carol Riddle. Sylvan Hills Elementary, Rachel Mormon. Mills Middle, Michael Robinson. Sylvan Hills Middle, Paula Falls. Sylvan Hills Junior High, Marilyn Pugh. Maumelle High, Debbie Pierce. And Sylvan Hills High, Angie Hughes. And district building level nominee, Yolanda Richards. Please stand. Did I miss anyone over here with our group? All right, you guys can give them a round of applause. All of our nominees and their guests are invited. We are celebrating them with the Evening of Excellence on Thursday evening, where they'll receive a special award, and we will also announce the district level support staff winner at that time, and we'll let you guys know afterward who that winner is. We have a 8:30 p.m. social media post, so I better be done with the event by then. So, support staff, thank you so much. This is your opportunity to sneak out now. I'm going to grab the teachers.
And just like that, there's chairs. The parking lot will empty and there's chairs. Love you. I'm so proud of you. I'll be there Thursday. Yeah, the girls are really good. How's that possible? That's this. I'm so proud of her. Congratulations, Miss Richards.
You don't get to leave, you had to stay. You should have just got up with the rest of them.
Okay, so they are using that area over there.
This says teacher.
Probably teacher.
Yeah, all the way down. Okay. Now we get to announce our Teachers of the Year, and I will go with those who checked in with me as well. And you all were not in here when I gave instructions, so when I say your name, please stand and remain standing, and then when we're done with all of them, we'll give you the round of applause that you do. So, and if you didn't know, you all are part of the 5th annual Teacher of the Year group class that we've had for PCSSD. We started this right after COVID, and this has been one of my favorite projects to do every year, is to work to make sure that you guys get the recognition that you deserve. So when I say your name, if you'll please stand. Baker Elementary's Jamie Garman. Chenal Elementary, Mary Muller. College Station Elementary, Stacy Moore. Crystal Hill Elementary, Crystal Lewoff. Daisy Bates Elementary, Tracy Hill. Oak Brook Elementary, Jeanette Myers. Pine Forest Elementary, Amanda Foltz. Robinson Elementary, Shanitra Gaines. Sherwood Elementary, Tiffany Darr. Sylvan Hills Elementary, Shasta Anderson. William Jefferson Clinton Elementary, just kidding, she didn't check him. But that's Haley Jones Massey if you wanted to know. Okay. Maumelle Middle, Craig Tyson. Mills Middle, Simone Vale. Robinson Middle, Catherine Ziller. I need some water. Sylvan Hills Middle, Haley Frakes. Sylvan Hills Junior High, Alexandria Slater. Maumelle High, Allison Shepard. Mills University Studies High, Michael Flowers. Robinson High, Lindra Romack. Sylvan Hills High, Elaine Harris. Success Learning Academy, Amanda Hill. And then you snuck in, Wendy. Harris Elementary, Sanabria. I wanted to get it right, Sanabria. Did I get every? No. Oak Brook Elementary. Oak Grove, is it Ashlea or Ashley? Ashley Blakely. Those are our teachers who made it here today. If we can give them a round of applause. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, and they will also join us on Thursday evening for the Evening of Excellence. The Teacher of the Year for the district who is selected does go on to compete at the state level to become potentially the Arkansas Teacher of the Year. And for those of you that may not know, PCSSD is the proud recipient of our Teacher of the Year for the upcoming 25-26 school year with Jeannie Wilcoxon from Chenal Elementary. So you'll have some big shoes to fill. I don't know if they've ever given back-to-back from one school district, but I'm really excited about this and can't wait to celebrate you all on Thursday evening. So you guys get to go now too. Thank you.
So she gotta get mounted. Yeah, she get both of them knocked out in one day, which is what it should be. We should be doing concurrent like that. We have to go and take more.
At night.
So now we have online, which is what this
Yeah,
class is.
I mean, back then.
So she can do it around her work schedule.
We didn't have computers.
Oh, no.
We're going to do the choir last. Since there's so many of them.
The choir last. Okay, so which one is this one?
We have
Some members.
So they're all in here.
So we'll do this. Miss Camp and I stand together to celebrate some of her students at Robinson High. So tonight's celebrations are all about students from Robinson High. So our first group that we're going to celebrate are Robinson's boys swim team, who won the 4A conference and state. Would you stand, please?
I want to say that this was their state competition was the first swim meet I had ever been to, and their coach Jackie Bracey, who's over here, taught me everything I needed to know about it, and it was so much fun, so much energy, and interesting fact, this was our first year to have a swim team, and the fact that we won state was just an even bigger accomplishment.
Congratulations.
I would also like to say there are a number of swimmers who are not able to be here today because they're on the Robinson High School soccer team, and they are practicing really, really hard to prepare for the state playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next we have the girls tennis team from Robinson High, who won 4A conference and state championship. Stand, please.
So also, these girls are coached by Nina Holub, and she's also part of our soccer team coaching staff. And so, just want to point out, Zayla Ware she has won numerous times and has plenty of rings, and I'm just excited to see what her future holds. So remember that name because you will hear it again. But all the ladies, I'm so proud of you guys and for this accomplishment.
Zayla, she was one of the Baker babies.
Oh, okay.
That's great pride. So our final celebration from Robinson is the concert choir.
Come on
So they're going to grace us with their talent.
As they're walking in, I will say, so Edmund Hampton leads our choir, and it is magical. The first time I heard them perform, my jaw actually dropped, just at how talented they are.
O'er the perilous fight, o'er the
Awesome.
Y'all, I'm a huge fan. I did 4 years of choir in high school, and I was on the little. I'm so proud. That was beautiful, beautiful. Congratulations.
Nobody lets me sing.
Really?
That
So,
was awesome.
what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Senior. And then pink bandana or headband. Tennis girl.
Oh, a junior.
Junior. Okay. Awesome. So y'all are a good variety of different. Like, are you any freshmen? No.
Not in this group.
So this is a senior choir or sophomore? Or sophomore?
10th and 12th grade. This is our auditioned mixed choir.
I love
This
it.
is not everyone. We had some scheduling conflicts tonight, but
So we've got swimmers, we've got tennis stars, and
We
then
also
we've got the choir, and
we
they're.
also have baseball.
We got baseball.
Track,
Uh-huh.
and-
Volleyball.
band.
Band.
And cheer and theater and
See, all well-rounded. Choir just does it all. They can do it all. I love it. Congratulations, kids.
Good job.
Wonderful.
Before y'all walk away, we're gonna read all of your accolades.
So
So
the
I hope y'all have your backpacks.
The concert choir won Best in Class, which is first place in the 5A Large Mixed Chorus category. Also, they won the overall Best in Class for the 5A Large Chorus in this category. This means that the concert choir is the 2025 Class 5A Large Chorus State Champions. Congratulations. First time in school history. A lot of firsts in school history. So,
Thank you guys for coming.
You guys
and
sounded
for your patience
awesome.
tonight.
Thanks to all of you for representing Robinson
Y'all can
well.
Yes.
tilt your back.
Well, like, we only have girls, so I've never got that addition. I love it. Both my kids do choir.
Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming.
I love it. Choir's a connection to everything. You can do it all tonight. So, some of them are choir in band. Some are athletes in choir. So I'm excited.
Okay, Miss Duff, would you let anybody know who's standing outside because they think they can't come in?
Yes, I think Mr. Thomas is on that.
Okay,
bill.
okay, thank you. We good? Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Whitfield and Ms. Camp, and all our students that came out. That was wonderful. Our next item on the agenda are our public comments. We have quite a few tonight. Let me get situated. All right. We allow each speaker 3 minutes for public comments. I will keep time for us tonight. Our responsibility is to listen to your comments. It is board policy that we do not respond or discuss your comments during this time. You have First Amendment rights during your 3 minutes. My polite request is that for any complaints involving staff members, please consider whether it is necessary to name that staff member in order to make your point. And with that, our first speaker is, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce any names, I want to get that out in front. Doug Shin.
My name is Doug Shin. I am a paraprofessional from Life Skills at Robinson High School. You can ask Ms. Kemp, it took a lot of restraint for those of you who came to the Driven viewing last week to not throw myself in front of the golf cart and address this then. But My background includes 25 years in the hospitality industry. It includes new construction and renovation, 10 years in home renovation, and 3 years as Director of Facilities and Purchasing for a charter school district. I'm here tonight to bring awareness to some issues on the condition of our facility. Our school was opened in 1981, 9 years before the passing of the American with Disabilities Act. Many of our design appeared to be anticipated, but have not been brought to code or in need of repair. Some examples include stairs in hazardous condition or missing handrails, older wheelchair access points that are so uneven that a wheelchair will hang up on them, handicap loading zones that retain water, making it difficult to load children with wheelchairs, a drainage grate at one of these access points that the wheelchair wheels will actually fall into the grate. And the ramp at our main entrance is too steep of a grade for an electric wheelchair to climb. This school year, our class has had 2 wheelchair-bound students, but next year we will have a minimum of 4. It is imperative that these repairs and improvements be made to better serve these special needs students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Our next speaker tonight is Brittany Walker.
Hello, board.
Hi.
I sent the email earlier this week. I don't know who all had the chance to look at it. But again, this could be gossip, rumor, hearsay, because the communication did not come from anyone on the board or the admin. But where there's some hearsay, there's some truth. So, of course, the infrastructure for College Station, we know the funding is there, so it's time to get the ball rolling. The next question is regarding our students and our faculty. It has been said that we are proposed to be displaced. For one, that is an issue because I don't know if you guys recall, but I know that this was mentioned, I've mentioned it before, and also in the community stakeholders meeting. The core of College Station is a community school. So if you're speaking of displacing these kids, have you ever looked at majority of these kids do not ride the bus? Some may walk, some are car riders. Some of them attend the after-school care. They're at College Station. So if we're going to be displaced, I know you guys will provide transportation, but that's not the issue. Then to say we're going to be displaced to Harris, and again, this is hearsay. I don't know how true this is. I feel like that's kind of like forcing us to integrate, not with Harris, but be realistic. No parent close nearby, near Daisy Bates or Landmark, will want to go all the way to Harris. They're more than likely is going to enroll their child in Landmark and Daisy Bates just because it's close. So that leads me to think if that does happen, that's jeopardizing our retention of our students. That's going to jeopardize our enrollment. And I know PCSSD love numbers. That's the biggest issue, whether it's financial, enrollment, or even academic scores. So if all of our kids go to other schools, who's to say they're going to come back if and when this new school is there? I don't understand why this construction cannot be done and we remain at our school. Are the project managers or whoever is calling this, are they not competent enough to look at a scheme and say, hey, we've been told these kids want to stay here. Is it a way we can make it happen? If it's a hazardous concern, we've been dealing with that for years as to why we're here. So I just feel like we're so near to the end. Why give us other obstacles to face? And I'm also concerned about if the 2 years that it's supposed to take, again, what if these kids don't come back? What would happen to our faculty in our school? Why is it so detrimental that we leave? What is the rationale behind that? Maybe I think that needs to be communicated so we can get a clear understanding. And I don't understand why we can no longer have community stakeholder meetings to give us that communication, because we're hearing everything third party, which creates uproar and false information spreads like wildfire. So I will really appreciate, if that is applicable or feasible for you all to do. All right, thank you.
Our next speaker is Sheila Holzier. How close? Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
My name is Sheila Holsizer, and I'm the registrar at Sylvan Hills Junior High. I've been a registrar with the district since 2008. Registrars at most schools are the first line of communication with the parent. We meet with them in person, communicate with them by phone and email to register their student. We request records, update their information. We make sure everything is entered and coded correctly. We provide the parent with various requests that they have, and we secure every student's record and send records to other schools when they leave our school. We maintain a permanent file on all of our current students, and at my school I maintain permanent files on the inactive students 5 years back. In 2011, 10 days were added to our contract instead of a raise, and I would appreciate your consideration in raising us to a range 6 from our range 3. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Williams.
I'm gonna you're all signed up,
Yeah,
right?
we're all
Yeah, I'm
signed.
gonna make sure you get
Yes,
your
sir.
time, okay? So that's why I'm just pausing for a second. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback off of Ms. Sheila, I'm Michelle Williams. I'm with Mills High School. In Mills Middle, I'm the registrar there. As you can see by our presentation done by one of our registered Maria, PCSSD hourly starts at $12.04. Annually, that's $21,000 a year. Little Rock hourly is $17.51. Annually, $29,416. Jacksonville, North Pulaski, $14.07 hourly. Annually, $22,512. North Little Rock, $14.17. Annually, $23,465. Little Rock School District, hourly $16.50. Annually, $29.40. And again, they finna open up a Buc-ee's. Guess how much they start off? $20 an hour. So, as far as, like you said, we are the first line of contact with parents. They come to us for everything. They know us first before they even see the principals, the counselors, anybody. We work hard every year to get our numbers up. We are the funding. If we didn't enroll these kids, we wouldn't have any funding. Nobody in here would have a job. We need a raise. We work hard every single day. Every single day. We deal with parents' attitudes when they have to come in and say, why my child can't come here? You're not zoned for Pulaski County. We are notaries. Some of these kids come in to stay with their grandparents that are in the district. Numbers. It's all about numbers. Phase 2. We haven't heard anything else about phase 2, about us getting a raise. Did Dr. Wiggins ever give you those numbers? See? That's what I'm saying. So McDonald's starts off at $15 an hour. Some of our registers are not here because they have a second job. It shouldn't matter. Little Rock School District make way more than us. Come on now, look at the numbers. These are all our numbers right here. All the stuff that we do, coding, communication, student records, we do need to be a range 6. We need more money. So y'all need to look at that. I mean, that's the only way this is going to work. We need more money because since I've been at Mills can't keep a registrar because it's not enough money there. And I'm working 2 schools. So I'm working 6th grade to 12th grade every day. So please consider us and get phase 2 back on the program.
Okay. Who's next?
Good evening. My name is Sunshine Crawford. I'm the registrar at Oakbrook Elementary in Sherwood. Thank you so much for allowing me the time to speak to you this evening. I'm here tonight to respectfully advocate for registrars to be included in the pay increases recently discussed for 504 and SPED, paras, security officers, bus drivers, and other classified staff. I would like to begin by saying how much we value and support all of those employees and the important work that they do. I would like to ask that registrars who play a vital role in the daily operations of our schools not be left behind. At a recent board meeting, several Sherwood principals spoke to advocate for their registrars, and I'm here to echo their concerns. Registrars are responsible for maintaining accurate student data, enrolling and withdrawing students, managing records, and so much more. This work is not only essential for smooth school operations, it directly impacts the funding for our district. At the start of the school year, Dr. McNulty spoke specifically to the registrars during our training in the summer and emphasized just how critical our role is in helping the district secure funding. Despite the growing scope of our responsibilities to help secure vital district funding, registrar pay has not kept pace. Minimum wage in Arkansas is currently $11 an hour. The starting pay for registrars is $12.04. $12.04. This is less than what many local employers offer the entry-level positions, including Amazon, Walmart, and convenience stores. Walmart's starting wage is $15 an hour. As someone just previously mentioned, Buc-ee's starting wage is $20 an hour, which will soon be coming to Benton Bryant area, and Amazon's starting wage is $18.50. It is becoming increasingly difficult to retain experienced staff or attract qualified candidates at this rate, which in turn affects accurate data and is causing the district to risk losing vital funding. I kindly ask that you consider including registrars in the upcoming pay increases. We love what we do, we take pride in what we do, and we love serving our schools. We simply ask that you compensate us fairly for our jobs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Shin. I am the registrar at the Success Learning Academy, soon to be closed middle school ALE. This is my 15th year as a registrar, my 5th year with PCSSD. This year I have the pleasure of holding the position of registration specialist for the district. Through this position, I have the opportunity to train and work with many of our wonderful registrars in our district. When compared with other Central Arkansas registrars, PCSSD is again the lowest paid in the area. One of our registrars, a single mother with a young son, she was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Recently, her lease came up for renewal. Her apartment complex informed her that she had to move into a 1-bedroom apartment because she no longer met the salary requirement for her apartment. Another of our registrars shared that she applied for the position because the pay would cover her car note, but it wouldn't be enough to reduce the benefits that she was receiving from the government. We have several registrars that work 2 and 3 jobs so that they are able to meet their financial responsibilities and care for their families. The registrar is, again, an integral position in our schools. They are responsible for enrolling students, maintaining accurate records, and managing sensitive information, as well as dealing with students with discipline issues, greeting parents, answering phones, running reports, entering attendance, so on, as has been discussed, in addition to the plethora of other duties that are thrown upon them on a daily basis. So please consider these issues as well as the others that were presented as you plan for the future and make the necessary salary adjustments in order to retain the quality registrars that our district deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all, ladies. Our next, okay, here we are. Our next speaker is Billie Jean Woods.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak today. I'm speaking to you, can you all hear me? Okay. I'm speaking to you as a mother and community member who carries the mental and emotional weight of uncertainty about my children's education. Like so many parents, I want safety, consistency, and opportunity for my children. But when schools like College Station Elementary face the threat of closure or displacement, it feels like those needs are being pushed aside. Psychological safety, the sense that a student can show up fully without fear of judgment or harm, is essential for academic success. And research shows that when students feel emotionally supported, they are likely to perform well, take risks in learning, and engage meaningfully. But how can our children feel safe or focused when they are being uprooted from a place that nurtures them? College Station Elementary has made remarkable strides despite systemic obstacles. Over the past 4 years, its school rating has gone from an F to a C. But the progress is not just about numbers. It's a reflection of care, commitment, and culture built by educators like Ms. Evans and Mrs. Nash who believe in our children. And here's what I know from personal experience. Higher ratings don't necessarily guarantee a better education. My own children, prior to attending College Station, attended a school with an A rating. However, they were miserable. They felt isolated, unsupported, and unable to learn optimally. A school can have shiny facilities and strong test scores, but if a child does not feel safe, connected, or understood, or seen, the learning stops. While some may argue that College Station receives nearly $18,000 in per pupil spending, I urge you to look deeper. College Station Elementary School serves high-need students, meaning that the cost to educate each student increases. And this does not mean that the school has surplus or discretionary funding. Additionally, wealthier schools may serve more students with fewer needs and have larger class sizes, thus reducing their per pupil average. The spirit of equity requires us to acknowledge and address how systemic racism and other forms of oppression have historically and disproportionately marginalized students of color. Next, let's acknowledge the fact that school closures disproportionately affect Black and brown communities across the country. Nationally, a majority Black schools are 8 times more likely to close, even when performance is equal. Okay, so does anybody know what happened to the students that were at J.C. Cook High School that closed? Harris High School, McAlmont High School, Oak Grove High School, North Pulaski High School. Some of these schools consolidated with other schools and some of them closed. Sylvan Hills Junior High School, Northwood. That was 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I was just getting started. Okay.
I can't fix that, but
Okay,
if
I
you
just got one.
just say a last thing, please.
Okay, I'm gonna say. Okay, I will continue to fight. Ms. Evans knows all of my children, including ones who don't attend the school by first and last name. She is present and visible during arrival and dismissal, rain or shine, and often checks in with students and families, even outside of school hours. She has been known to call students personally just to make sure they are doing well and cared for. That kind of leadership is rare and it is invaluable. It fosters a culture of belonging and safety that no building or test score can replace. It's not every day that you have school administrators and staff who see your children as more than students, but instead see them as people deserving of all the best that life has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Dr. Annika Whitfield.
To the members of the board, my name is Dr. Anika T. Whitfield.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I am the Executive Director of Grassroots Arkansas. I would just like to indulge you for just a moment by asking all of the persons that are here that represent College Station Elementary School, the College Station community, to come and stand with me, because I'm not standing here for them, I'm standing here with them, and I want that to be represented as I'm speaking. College Station is a community where people might be small in number, but they're big in love. And Grassroots Arkansas believes in public education and public schools. And a house and a home only are houses and homes if people are there. And College Station has a public school that has a history of bringing the community together, has a history of accepting and knowing the culture of the community, and not only knowing it and accepting it, but helping to elevate it. And so we don't want to see anything happen to the College Station Elementary School that would harm the neighborhood and community, that would take away a house, a home, a place where people are being nourished, a place where people feel safe and know that they can grow. And so we recognize that there might be some things that need to happen to the structure, but please don't kill the school. Please don't kill the community. Please do not do things to, rather do things with this community. They are here, they are open, they are willing, and they want to talk with their board. They want to talk with the people that are making decisions on their behalf. And whether or not you know it, when you make a decision, you're making it on their behalf. And so it would be polite and kind to involve them in that decision-making process. And that's why we're here. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. Whitfield. Our next speaker is Juanita Kroon.
Hello. Good to see everybody again. Thank you for your time and volunteerism. I am here to absolutely piggyback off on what the registrar said. We have about 189 classified staff members that make under $30,000 a year. So one of my things that I'm proposing, but of course, I want to try to get the money from the state, not from the district, because we're in a little bit of trouble. And I am writing anybody, my mayor, and I live in North Little Rock, so I'm writing my mayor, the governor's office, the senators, and I just want to ask you guys if y'all can help me out, if we can partner together in writing something, getting us involved in the legislation when allocations come out, because it's about that time. So if we could get all of our classified members making under $30,000 a year, up to 30, and then 10% for everybody else. That's what I'm proposing. That's what I've wrote. That's what I've asked. And I don't think that's a hard ask with over 200 million being moved from here to there, and we can be added to those numbers that are being moved. And so I just really, really, really love our classified team members. And our registrars do make it happen. Like our registrars, if they don't have their money right, we can be put out of a district. Like, and nobody wants to be put out of a district. And of course, I do think my department is needed as well, the technology department, because without us, the buildings wouldn't run as smooth as either. And I did want to also point out, and I'm still on target, I'm still on time, but I do want to use up all my time. I just want to give just a little shout out for our members that have served over 35 years. We got some 33 years, and their pay, and I'm not going to say names, but their pay isn't enough to retire on. So even if they exit here, if I've served 35 years and my pay was only $35,000, that's not a sustainable wage to retire on, because they're gonna take your last 5 highest years of your last 5 highest pays, and it didn't ever increase any. So if y'all can help me join the fight and write our legislation, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Kroon. Our next commenter is Representative Joy Springer.
Mr. Delaney, members of the board, and Dr. Guest, deja vu. About 15 years ago it has been. I will not repeat what has already been said, but as I look, there are some rumors, and I'm here to find out about these rumors. I've heard too. As I look at your agenda, I see construction updates on there, and I see Harris Elementary renovation, but I don't see anything about College Station. So I think we talked previously about College Station and Harris, and the final
obligations under Plan 2000, so that's why I'm here. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Springer. I think Mr. Johnson will have something about that in the construction updates. Our next speaker is Bree Thomas.
Good evening, Board. My name is Brianna Thomas, and I'm a junior at Joe T. Robinson High School. I'm currently in the Driven program, and I'm just here today to try to persuade you guys to please keep this program running by just giving you some of my personal experience and my words. I've been in Driven for about 3 years now, ever since 9th grade, and as soon as I joined Driven, I knew it was a place I wanted to be. I'm a very type A person. I'm very dedicated, very determined to do what I need to do, and Driven helps me get there. Without Driven, I would not be able to push myself, and students like me also wouldn't be able to push themselves to be the best leaders that we have in our school. Obviously, Driven has very good test scores, and we have very good students there, and that is because we have teachers and mentors and tutors who put their time into this program to make sure that we are raised to be the best that we can be. And I just really hope that my words that I'm saying today encourages you to keep this program alive, because without it, I would not be a straight A student. I would not have a 28 ACT score, if that matters to any of you. And I just really, thank you. I'm so sorry. I just really, Driven is my life and it is my family, and everyone in Driven has come to support me, and we support everyone in our Driven lifestyle. We have a culture that we've built here, and it is full of love and support, and we don't just learn about A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We learn about how to cook, how to change a tire, how to do taxes. I mean, we don't have classes in the main building about finances and filing taxes, but Driven, and especially our director, Coach Escola, makes sure that we learn these valuable life lessons, because without it, I mean, even students who don't plan on going to college, you have to learn how to do taxes and how to change a tire to get through life, and they teach us real life lessons. And that is all my time, and thank you so much for letting me speak today.
Our final commenter is Jennifer Tate.
Hello, Board. I am grateful to be here with you tonight. I have 5 kids that have, one is a freshman in college now, the youngest is in 6th grade. We're in the Robinson feeder school, so I have 2 in middle school now, 6th and 8th grade, 2 at high school currently in 10th and 12th. And we've pretty much been in Pulaski School District their entire lives, except for 1 year when we moved out of state. And so it was fun actually being here. I was able to see my son's, who's now the senior, favorite first grade teacher, Miss Fields. She was one of the teacher nominees, and I know her name is not Miss Fields anymore. Miss Ziller is also a favorite. I guess my point is here tonight is to talk about why we as a family chose public schools. It has always been crucial to me that my kids grow up in an environment where they are surrounded by people that are different than them. I feel it is vitally important to learn how to get along with people who look different than you, who believe different things, who have different political views than you. And that above all, that we find a constant, that we are all human beings, and there's always something that you can relate to with another person. And because of this, we have thrown everything into public schools. And like I've said, we've been in the PCSSD school district their entire lives, pretty much. Robinson has become a family to us now. The Baker and Chenal districts love them, love the teachers. And as a part of that, we have kind of evolved, and I've grown with the programs and in our family. And as you saw, like, I love it tonight with the choir here and the swim teams. It really is a family. And a part of that family at the high school now, we have a traditional program, and then we also have a driven program. And I also would like to express some things about driven. It's not something that is talked about for some reason by the school district, but we have above average state scores, ACT scores, testing scores. One of our teacher facilitators earned a Trailblazer Award that was given by the state in May of 2023, but for some reason that was not acknowledged by the district. We have visiting school districts. Gosh, I'm running out of time. There are about 4 different school districts that have come because they want to pattern their programs after what we have there here at Driven. They have mentioned that it's pretty much like we've created our own AVID, and so it's like an in-house AVID. I guess my point is that we teach these kids life skills. We teach them how to strive for something. We teach them to find their why, which doesn't replace the traditional program as well. We all work together there at Robinson. We are a big family, and I hope that the district admin can find a way to keep the vital things going, like mentor meetings and different strategic points, and that they can also take the good points and utilize them at other schools within the district. So we have so much to offer, and I think we need to spread the love. But thank you for your time, and to all the admin, thank you for all that you put into our children. They are our life, and we are grateful for all of you as well. So, thank you.
A little bit later. Here. Okay, that completes our public comments. Next, we'll have our reports and presentations. Our first presentation is from the certified PPC. Do you want to, Ms. Robinson, do you want to do a presentation, or do you just want to do your parts? Okay, all right. Classified PPC, Ms. Nichols.
Good afternoon. Good evening, board members. Thank you for giving me a few moments to share some updates and reflections on behalf of our amazing classified staff. As this school year winds down, we've taken time to review the results of our classified climate survey that we took. One of the very first actions that we took with the newly formed classified PPC committee was to push out a climate survey. We knew it was important to give our classified staff a voice and gather feedback that could help us guide how we could advocate and support them moving forward. Initially, we didn't receive the number of responses we had hoped for, but we knew how important it was to get a strong response rate in order for the data to truly be credible and representative. So we relaunched the survey in March, and at this time, we really encouraged our classified employees across all areas to participate and be honest. We took extra steps to ensure the responses were more anonymous, to make everyone feel safe and comfortable sharing their true thoughts. And thanks to that push, we were able to collect meaningful feedback from across the district. So let's celebrate some good news. The results showed that many of our employees feel a strong connection to our school communities. 74% said that they would recommend PCSSD as a good place to work, and nearly 80% would recommend their school or department. That speaks volumes about the relationships and support that is happening in the buildings. We also saw that over 52% of respondents said their job duties are clearly defined and in line. 40% feel they receive the training and support they need to do their job well. And supervisors were constantly rated high for encouraging teamwork, listening to suggestions, and recognizing employee contributions. These are strong indicators that while we still have work to do, many things are right, and that part is worth celebrating. At the same time, the survey gave an honest feedback about areas we need to improve, and you know what I'm fixing to say. Salary, pay. if the district could just get that right, we would be in a good position. We value the input, and we will use all of the feedback that we receive to move forward in a more intentional way. The committee will continue using these results as a guide for how we advocate for our classified staff through the 25-26 school year. Our commitment is to ensure every employee feels supported, respected, and heard. I really wish that you would take in consideration of all that's been presented today. These people, they work hard. It was resonated in that survey. And we're struggling. We still come to work, but we're still struggling to make ends meet. Some of us are on government assistance, and if we can just get some help for the ones that we are committed to, that would be great. Before I sit down, I want to first state to all of our classified staff, thank you this year. Your hard work, resilience, and dedication have not gone unnoticed. You are the foundation that keeps our schools running smoothly, and we appreciate everything that you've done. And as we look forward to the 25-26 school year, I want to remind you that the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Ms. Nichols. Our next presenter is our financial updates with Ms. Rowlett.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Guest. This is our financial report for period 10, the month of April. For our legal funds, as I always tell you, they're funds 1, 2, and 4. These are the funds that the state looks at to consider the district's fiscal stability. The beginning balance for the month was $2.3 million. The revenues were $15.3. The current month expenditures were $12,038,000. The ending gross legal balance was $5.6 million. Categorical fund balance was $804,000. The net legal balance for April was $4.7 million. As you can see, we have expended 75% of our budget, and we have received 70% of our budgeted revenues. We are up 8% in our tax collections, if you look down to the bottom on your right and my left. And an increase in overall revenue of 6.3. I will let you know that we did receive our tax check from Pulaski County. It was, as we expected, it was a little bit more. I expected about 44. It was actually 45 million. 0.09% of that will have to go to Fund 5 millage, but we are on track to meet our projected tax collections for the fiscal year. So, and we're still looking at our numbers for a net legal balance. Do you all have any questions?
Questions for Ms. Rowlett?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our next presentation is from Mr. Johnson, construction updates.
All right, well, good evening. We'll start off, if we will, with Mills High School first, and then we'll move to a PowerPoint presentation that should be a little bit more informative. Mills High School, as we are, is moving along the way it should. The classroom additions are dealing with the millwork as far as cabinetry is in process. Waiting for our trim to be delivered so we can basically finish that process out. Flooring is ongoing, and the following rooms the rooms have millwork that still need to be completed. Elevator is scheduled to be installed this week. Low voltage cabling and lighting protection is in progress. And the furniture for the classroom portion of the building is scheduled to be delivered on the 14th of July. In anticipation for us basically having that particular portion of the building complete the 31st of July. The softball field is complete as it pertains to the arena. The exterior brick and interior CMU walls are in progress. Temporary openings, the subs are filling in openings and reinforcing with visqueen to close off the building. They're finishing the canopy on the northwest entry. The roofing, the TPO roofing is in process, the roof inspected this week. The storefront, which are the window areas for the building, is starting to go through as far as the installation goes, and it's continuing. Interior and exterior framing is still in progress. Overhead painting in the gym and prepping of the walls for painting is in progress. The athletic equipment is being ordered, and they're starting to look at the designs for that. Also, the installation of the scoreboards and the goals in the next upcoming weeks. The fire suppression systems, the sprinkler lines installation is ongoing. And then as far as the mechanical pieces, as far as electricians, plumbers, HVAC teams, that's all going according to plan as far as the rough end services go. We're still on target for the 31st of August as far as the receiving date for that portion of this project. Are there any questions about Mills High School? All right.
Did you, hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say that the building project at Mills would be completed on July 31st? So is that correct?
The classroom portion will be completed July 31st.
So we'll be able to use those classrooms then for the 25-26 school year, right?
That is correct.
Yay, that's great news. Thank you, Mr.
We're pushing a little bit, just to make sure we've got the space in the classrooms. All right. Any other questions that I can answer as it relates to Mills? All right, fair enough. We'll move on to Harris Elementary and College Station Elementary. In the cabinet meeting that we had last week, we had a discussion based on the direction that's been given that College Station would basically get $8 million of the bonds that were basically second lien bonds that were approved in March, and Harris would get $2 million. Addition to College Station would be the damage received compensation back from the insurance company of $2.23 million for Building 1. Unfortunately, Building 1 is to a point, if we were to move forward with this process of basically building a new building for College Station, Building 1 was going to be the place that we anticipated housing students for the build-out for the school. Unfortunately, due to the damage, that building would have to be demoed and removed from the campus. And based on site plans, and we'll talk about here in the next few minutes, the way the campus is potentially being proposed to be laid out, the only two buildings that would basically be left on that campus, which would be the storm shelter and the cafeteria, just to be clear. So with that being said, we'll start. So Harris Elementary, with $2 million, we would basically go through and basically change out the entry and office areas, the media center, the exterior canopy. Gym definitely needs a new roof and floor, and paint and trim out both A and B buildings as far as that campus go. The scope of the work when we initially started was based on Building A to your left, and the gym area in red and yellow on Building B to your right. That was identified initially as the initial scope to try to get done. I think the cost went as high as $6.5 million, and when we ran into some of the cost variants that we ran into, we could not afford to basically do $6.5 million here. Thus, when the second lien was proposed and $2 million were put on the table, that got us to the scope of where we're aiming for with the items that I just discussed. The interior pieces will, as far as renderings go, as far as the painting goes, will still basically show this type of painting throughout the building as far as the classrooms and hallways and that kind of thing as far as moving forward with the building. We just received the pricing that we got a few days back, and Murray Construction has basically provided us with this pricing to do the work for the things that we just called off. And so my thing for Harris, based on where we're getting ready to go with College Station, when I finish this presentation, I'll be looking for your approval to move forward with Harris. College Station. This was the initial design. It is not changing as far as the exterior for College Station goes. The square footage has not been changed as far as the design goes. However, the design did change slightly because of this was the initial layout for College Station, with us anticipating that we would leave, once we basically got the new school in play, that we would demo Building 1 for future growth and be able to have that space allocated for the campus. With Building 1, in the state that it is right now, there's no way that we can use that, so we might as well use the space. So we talked tentatively, and I had the architect team send me and submit the following things that I'll show you guys here today for the first time. Just got this information yesterday, or this afternoon, sorry. So this is a site plan for the campus. The building that you see in blue would be the new proposed building, and it stretches out across the entire lay of the land, leaving only the storm shelter and also the cafeteria. There's a new bus loop to the rear of the building, to the what is that, southeast portion of the building. And the area in green is what Judge Hyde asked us to look into, because he wanted to put an all-inclusive park at $150,000 on this site for the kids and for the community of College Station. That space will mirror that of Two Rivers Park in West Little Rock. Gene, can you move that forward one for me? It's not clicking. There we go. So this would be the site plan as far as the layout of the building, based on PORs, which are requirements of standards for the state as far as what's mandatory for this building. That would be the classroom layout and structure of the building, including office space, media center, pre-K, kindergarten, all are laid out in this initial plan. That's a closer view to give you an idea of that. And this presentation is available with Ms. Duff. She's already got it for dissemination. Pricing. This team initially approved, over a couple of meetings that we've talked about as far as what we initially laid out, was went from $3 million up to $13.5 million. That was all inclusive of insurance monies and that kind of thing. I think the final piece that we settled on was $10.5 million. And with that $10.5 million, we basically generated two costs here. One was based on prior plans, and then the lower one on the bottom inclusive of 10% increase for inflation over the time frame that has elapsed from us basically starting this process and getting us to where we are now. I am confident with where we are that the square footage and the pricing, we can meet those expectations with the things that we currently have in play. Timeline. It was important for everyone, including the community, to understand the timeline and the thought process and logistics behind trying to deal with College Station and getting this building off the ground and getting this moving. We initially had a conversation last Tuesday to talk about tentative construction starting in January, and all of the approval pathways to get us to January, and whether or not logistically to move the kids in January, because there's only going to be 2 buildings left standing on this campus, and they would have to be relocated. Initially, we thought Bates and/or Harris Elementary were the 2 suggestions that were basically brought to the table, and none of this was a final step in this. This was just initial conversations. We met again on Thursday of last week to have a follow-up conversation, and the building principal for College Station and the building principal for Harris thought it would be an ideal situation for Harris to be the location. Additionally, Building B had more space to basically give than Bates did at the time frame, and both building principals thought that it would be a good idea to tap Harris as the site location while we rebuild College Station Elementary. We initially thought, going through, that 2027 would be the target time frame. But with some of the things that have already been done from a design standpoint, we believe that August of 2026 potentially is an opportunity for us to have a building on the ground and ready to go.
Wow, 1 year?
August 2026. Okay, that's the projection. On Tuesdays at 3:30, every Tuesday for the last 7 years, we conduct facilities meetings. It's an open meeting for anybody that wants to attend that meeting. You can come here, ask questions of every architect that's present, of every construction firm that's present. There's no barring of what can be asked to date. When we have a lot of rumors that are basically swirling around, I can tell you with a great amount of confidence, there's been little to no feedback from the public in my meetings. To kill some rumors, I would always ask, come see me. As Deion Sanders would say, I'm not hard to find. Right? Too big to run, too big to hide, not hard to find. Right? But as it relates to where we are with College Station, it took us a minute to get here because we didn't know financially where we would land. I think we're in a good place now to basically make haste to get this done. If we're moving, January is a time frame that we're looking for construction, but it didn't make sense to move kids in January. If we're going to move them, I think everyone on cabinet thought it would best to move them in August and get moving this summer to try to get this done so that we can get a building on the ground and get kids back in it. For now, that's my report. Are there any questions I can answer? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Tate.
So unless I misread that, you say you have 8 million and 2 million and a half. So 10.5. 2.2. But those drawings, none of those that I saw were 10.5 or less, so I'm confused.
I don't want you to be confused. I'm anticipating some interest and some cost savings along this pathway of what I'm currently operating with. So, for example, there was $1.1 million that was basically given back to us by way of Donaldson funds. I've already expensed that portion of what was allocated in the mills process because that's what the federal court system required of us. That gives me almost $1.1 million to basically deal with moving forward in a different capacity. Unfortunately, we'll hear a sewer project that we've got to get done that falls within the same piece from the mills feeder perspective. And so that's $167,000. We'll talk about that later in the evening when that comes up for that process. I do believe, and I believe firmly, that we can save enough money in these processes to get this done. We have enough cash on hand, I believe, to get done.
Would it be possible to get a design drawn up that we could see that would be 10.5 or less?
Yes, ma'am. That's what we're working on now.
I have a question, if you're not done.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that the 2 building principals said that they thought it would be best to move the students from College Station to Harris. Is there any way that you guys could get with the community and have a community meeting and find out what the parents, get input from the parents? My concern is that the kids from College Station would have to be bused across the river, and just as a mom, I don't like that.
So can I give you the rest of it? So I think we talked, and we anticipated that some parents would not be in favor of that and would probably opt to either go to Landmark or Bates. And we did talk about that in the last Thursday meeting. All of this is brand new, Ms. Potter, as far as trying to move it forward, because we could not move forward. We couldn't really bring new information to folks because we just didn't have new information. We now have some new information, so that information is forthwith, and we have no problem going and having community meetings, starting those back up again. But you had to be able to have something to affirm to be able to tell them, and we just did not. We did have a conversation about the other schools being options. That's at the parents' discretion. I don't think we'll restrict that. I think the biggest thing right now for us on the surface was to say, hey, we've got to take this ball and we've got to start moving. And I think that was a bigger piece for us.
So if the decision is to move the College Station students from College Station to Harris, and a parent would prefer that their child or their children go to Bates to prevent them from having to be bused across the river, will transportation be provided, or will transportation only be provided to Harris?
We're in the process of trying to figure that one out. Most of our transportation for College Station comes out of the southbound. My initial thought process was Bates, but based on relationships and what the building principal and leadership thought was best, and based on space allocation, that's why some of the thought processes are where they are. I don't know that we're finalized on that thought process. This is us bringing it to the table tonight because we've got to get the move.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, dear.
I have a list of questions from the College Station community, parents, and I'll get them to you, but I guess the main thing to sum up these papers is that they want to know for sure that this is going to happen. And it's not going to be one of them little trickeries or something that get them out to school and then say, stay where you're at. So the main purpose is to make sure. So I know that we're going to have some community meetings because we want the parents to see the advantages, the disadvantages, the advantage for each school, even with the move. And those, I know all those parts got to be worked out. So I guess the main thing is, I know we voted to do a lot of things in this district in other communities, and it's like College Station has been kind of like on the back burner. So it's kind of scary, yeah. It's kind of scary to know that they're going to be, it's going to really happen. So please, don't, you know, we just got a little
No, I can only offer.
PTSD right now.
Oh, no, and I get it. I can only offer the following. Prior to the district saying, hey, funding is a little tight with all these projects, we're at a stopping point. We were having meetings in College Station community in regards to the stakeholders as it related to the project itself. Only when the funding got tight and we put the brakes on did that stop. Because it didn't make sense to continue to have these meetings. You have no new information. And I think I've even said that in 1 or 2 board meetings that we've had, that it does not make sense to continue to have meetings and there's no new information to pass along to parents as it pertains to their community. As it relates to moving the project forward, my job is real simple, to get it done. But I cannot get that done without your blessing as a board to let me move forward. So I think from an intent standpoint from the operations team, we're moving. The question becomes getting the blessing from the board. And once you guys bless the process, I just need everybody to get out the way.
So the decision, Ms. Ward, were you finished?
No, I'm just saying,
Sorry.
I'll get these questions to you.
Yes,
and we
ma'am.
can hold some meetings.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yes, sir, Mr. Delaney.
The decision to move the College Station students is being administratively done at this time, right?
That's correct.
It's essentially been planned by the administration through discussions that are ongoing, right? Because when you do this, there's all kinds of questions when you put a school into another school, because we're not, surrendering the LEA number or anything like that. That's more for the certified side, but essentially, not my understanding is that we're giving up on the school in terms of deleting the LEA number or anything like that. But when you do that, though, it's just complicated, and so a lot of these discussions are ongoing inside of the mechanics, right? Like you have a nurse at College Station and a nurse at Harris. What do? When you consolidate them, and those are the type of discussions that are happening in cabinet, right?
That's correct. Okay. And to be more specific, I think you have 2 buildings at the Harris platform that gives you perfect delineation between both campuses, if you will. And so I think that's where part of that conversation comes from.
Yeah, but then that could impact the details, right? Like you may not want to consolidate the 3rd grade class at Harris with the 3rd grade class at College Station if you're keeping them separate. And these are the type of things that we rely on our administration to figure out how to do. And that's happening, right? Those conversations, you've seen those conversations happening.
Yeah, and that's some things that will have to be hashed out, because the academic side of it, there are going to be some things that we're currently already sharing, at least my understanding is. So as far as those finite details, I think that comes over a period of time as we start to basically look forward to get this done.
Yeah, okay.
So, are you done? Okay. So I have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
One is, at Harris, there's enough classroom space to shift that whole set at College Station to fit, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then when is Harris's construction going to happen?
We're working through those details as we speak, but here
College will go first, Harris will go.
Hang on one second before. All right, so in prepping Harris to receive these kids, there are some things that have to happen this summer. So the painting and that kind of thing, the roof on the gym flooring, all that stuff has to be done this summer.
Okay.
And in order to receive kids for the fall, which is why I brought the Harris proposal in, just so I can get a blessing and approval on that, so I can get people to move in. It's gonna be to a point to where we're literally gonna have to basically, I figure from a design standpoint, it'll take us several months to get Harris situated from a design standpoint. At the time that we get knee-deep into trying to make sure, because we stopped at just a overview of the building, not a full design platform, it'll take us 6-7 months to get that done. So by the time we're really ready to be blessed by the state with approvals, we'll have a little time to properly plan that out. But right now, I think the planning, we just moving forward, the planning needs to take place. And there are just a few ancillary things that we need to get started as far as prepping for August to get Harris ready to receive kids. And so we're working through that.
And then my next question was, how many classrooms is College Station? Do you remember? I couldn't gauge it from here.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
I was thinking I counted 6 to 8, maybe?
I think they're more closer to 9 or 10.
And is it a pre-K as well? I can't remember.
It is a pre-K and there is kindergarten.
And it goes to 5th grade.
Goes to 5th grade.
And so, I guess my thought was, I'll save it. I was thinking maybe Mills could be an option to use some classrooms over there, but again, I don't know anything about elementaries and high schools together.
We're running into some problems with
Yeah,
trying
so
to commingle.
clearly,
Yeah.
if Harris will be prepped and ready, that, and then the parents' choice on top of that for school
At the
choice.
peak time frame, I think, and Dr. Whitfield can correct me if I'm wrong, at the peak time frame, Harris was able to accommodate a little over 400 students. And so we were banking on that as far as this planning, the initial planning process, as far as how do we move forward.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, you're welcome.
I'm really happy to see you bring all this to us so we can get this bird flying.
Absolutely.
The construction manager for College Station, that's locked in, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, and that's.
Well, let me say this. If his pricing ain't right, it's not locked in.
Okay, all right, okay, that's
He
an
can get
important
going
point. Yeah.
real fast.
Okay, when do you think you'll have something to show us, but do you think you would show us something before you send it to the state?
Yeah,
Again?
I will have to bring it back for your final approval before moving forward. But the design that you guys have this evening is the most relevant design based on the architect's design. So that's what I'm prayerful that we will decide to move forward with.
I read what the idea for College Station is we're leaving the cafeteria, we're leaving the storm shelter, like you said. So essentially, we're really building classroom space, right? It's essentially, you can call it a new school, but it's not a new cafeteria, it's not a new multi-purpose room. We're really, most of this is new classroom space to go around the cafeteria and the multi-purpose room and the playground and that sort of stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Media center, new media center, and I think special ed facilities upgraded to where they need to be at based on state standard.
Right, so academic space, essentially.
Academic space, yes, sir.
So if you hear somebody say we're building a new school at College Station, it's true and not, it can be true and not true, right? Because a school might imply that you have all these additional facilities that you're building, and we're keeping a lot of those and focusing on the library space, the academic space as part of what we're constructing, right?
Well, Mr. Delaney, I would like to think of it this way. You have a building that's 70 years old, that's outdated, that's well past code. I'd like to think that this is new, exciting, and fresh school.
Right.
Even though we still have, you look at the storm shelter, it was built in '97, so it's not really, it's an older structure, but it's not 70 years old. The cafeteria at some point in time, we'll have to address that issue.
I ate in that cafeteria, I remember.
Yeah, so we'll end up having to address that at some point in time, but for what we can get done now, it's a new school.
Yeah, well, yes, it's just that most of the focus is going on the classroom space, like getting them good, solid classroom space inside of that structure we're building, right?
Absolutely, and more importantly, it's warm, safe, and dry. Doesn't open to the outside. It gives our faculty and staff the opportunity to feel comfortable about the house that they're in.
And that's really one of the things that set College Station apart from all of our other schools is it's one of it may be our last school where it almost exclusively every classroom opens to the outside, right?
That is correct.
You have like the primary building with a couple of classrooms in there that open to a hallway, but for the most part, that is one of the clear issues with College Station is that those classrooms do not open to a hallway.
That's correct.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody asks good questions, but when I was out there, they dropped down similar to Sylvan Hills Elementary where the school sets lower than the driveway up at the front, which was causing flooding issues at the bottom of the steps. Will that be addressed
Yes, it will
with the
be.
new design?
It will be.
Okay.
That was one of the first things that we looked at, as far as when we get into the civil design and drawings of it, is to be able to backfill that too. So we have a platform.
Raise it up?
We're gonna raise it up.
Awesome.
I have a question about the playground.
Yes.
You said Judge Hyde, wanted to put the playground in that one space that was in blue, right?
That's correct.
So does that mean the county is gonna completely fund that?
The playground, yes, ma'am, at $150,000, yes, ma'am.
Will it be fenced in just for security purposes, and then how would the public access that? I feel like there needs to be a fence around it if it's a playground at an elementary school.
But we'll do our normal protocols as far as safety and security for the school itself. But as far as access for the community, it's just like the community has access to the safe room. We'll make concessions for the community to have access.
I love the idea of an all-inclusive playground. We have a new one that the county did out near the Grove, out in Oak Grove, and it's been a real positive thing for our community and for kids with disabilities, all of that.
It was something that Judge Hyde was really adamant about. And we met with his team, along with our architects, to get those guys moving in the right manner to try to figure out how do we make that come to fruition. So we're off and running, just trying to get it done. A little excited about it, and we'll see what happens. We'll get it done.
Very exciting. I appreciate that partnership with the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
I know it's gonna take us back to, Harris Elementary,
Yes, ma'am.
because, and I don't know, this probably is not a question for you, probably a question for, well, you probably won't be here long. As far as about Harris Elementary, people, the rumor is that Harris Elementary, we're gonna close Harris Elementary. Have you heard that?
I can only deal with what's factual. I can't deal with the rumor.
Gotcha. I just wanted to be publicly said because that's floating.
It's not come across my desk, nor do I have time to deal with that.
Thank you, because that, I don't want there to be a problem with the conversion of sending College Station students to a community that feels like, oh, you're just gonna use us and then you're gonna close us. So I don't want that to happen either, since I represent both schools.
Yes, ma'am. That commitment on how we move forward comes directly from the board. It's my job to execute that directive. Yes, sir.
Okay, so College Station and Harris, we might be ready to put a bow tie on that part of the presentation.
That's correct.
Do you have other stuff to talk about?
No, that's it as far as construction updates. I just needed your blessings on Harris and College Station to move it forward.
Motion?
Well, wait a minute, blessing for what?
The $2 million one.
We've got that on the, we've got
That's
that
on
on new
Harris.
we've got that on new business.
Yes.
So you'll be back up to deal with that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Tate.
Any idea when Robinson is gonna get out of the state?
We were on the phone with those folks today harassing them, and we don't have an update right now. It's at any time frame, and as soon as I get it, you'll be the first one to know, Dr. Tate.
When they have 3-floor design?
Yes, ma'am, it does. That was the request.
So, the Robinson construction is a little more complicated than the College Station one, because it's got 3 floors and all of that going on with it. But it does take a while. I mean, these construction processes, they take a while, and it gets out of your control, right? When you're doing the bidding and when you're doing getting the state approvals and things like that. So do we think that College Station might move quicker through the state than Robinson, or do we think that it usually takes the same regardless of the
No,
scope of the-
Robinson will be faster. It should be in a couple of weeks for Robinson.
Well, no, what I mean is like at a certain point, you're gonna get to a place with College Station where we bless whatever you show us.
Absolutely.
And then it goes to the state. Do we think that all of these projects usually take about that long? Because it seems like this has been at the state for a few months.
Yeah, so here's how this goes. Your bigger projects, you can go up to 36 months. Your smaller projects, anywhere from 14, 16, 18 months, depending upon the design of the building and the layout and the details. We cannot control the agency reviews, and so we have to send it off to the health department. We got to send it off to the state fire marshal. We've got to send it off to architect board and a few other places that we have to send these plans to before the state will approve it. We don't control those timeframes. Typically, we like to say 60, 90 days. Sometimes you'll hit a snag, and I'll give you a perfect example. Health department on the issue from a plumbing standpoint. It was almost like pulling teeth with a certain person just to satisfy them as far as being able to get this sewer issue that we'll bring up here in a few minutes taken care of. And it was painful, and it took several months.
But these are the type of things that can blow up your timelines, right? Like you said, you pointed out that the hope would be to get College Station back up by August 2026.
We're looking to make sure that everything is properly filed with the state by September. As far as designs, approvals, everything starting in September, with the return being back hopefully mid-October, and that we can basically get a bid out and bring it back before the board in December. That's the hope. Yes, ma'am, Dr. Tate.
Are the bathrooms for Robinson also in the state, or what's the status of that?
No, ma'am. It's all part of this. I'm sorry. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know at this moment, Dr. Tate.
Because I thought we separated those.
They were separated, but I think the way the state did it, they packaged them all at the same time. So, for example, we were dealing with sped projects a few months ago, and they just bundled them all at the same time because it was Pulaski County.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And you'll be back up to get your approval on Harris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Dr. Guess.
It's my privilege to introduce some folks that are going to be new to the administrative and supervisory ranks in the district. I'm going to ask them to stand up so we can see them. Scott Young is going to replace Jimmy. I don't know if you can replace Jimmy or not. Oh, we got left back there. He is being recommended to replace Jimmy as Director of Technology. He's got 17 years with the district. He's been a field service technologist for 6 years and a project manager for 11. So Scott Young will be the new Director of Technology if that goes well. Thank you, Scott.
Congratulations.
Denitha Lawrence Hall. Miss Hall, there's your Miss Lawrence Hall, I'm sorry. Principal.
Hall is fine.
Principal at Sherwood Elementary. She's got 14 years in the district. She's been an elementary teacher for 9 years at Chenal, an instructional coach for 3 years at Clinton, and a middle school assistant principal for 2 years at Maumelle Middle. Welcome very much. Dr. Heather Allison, there's Dr. Allison, assistant principal at Maumelle Middle School. She's been an information service specialist with the district for 2000-2001, a high school teacher for 14 years in Forest City, a high school assistant principal for 4 years in Forest City, and a high school assistant principal for 6 years in Riverview. So she's going to be the new assistant principal at Maumelle Middle School. Welcome. Laura Pierce. There's Miss Pierce. Miss Pierce is going to be the assistant principal at Crystal Hill Elementary. She's got 26 years with the district. She's been a teacher for 18 years, 14 years at Clinton and 4 years at Crystal Hill, 7 years a math instructional coach at Crystal Hill Elementary, and 1 year an interim elementary assistant principal at Crystal Hill Elementary. So she's going to be the new assistant principal at Crystal Hill. Welcome, Ms. Pierce. Mary Carpenter Tipton is going to be the assistant principal at Chenal. There's Miss Carpenter Tipton. She has been a teacher for 6.5 years with the Hot Springs School District, an elementary assistant principal for 5 in Sheridan, an elementary assistant principal for 5 years here at Pulaski County, 4 years in Pine Forest, and 1 year at Chenal. She is an elementary principal for 3 years in Pulaski County at College Station Elementary, and an ESOL facilitator for 1 year here. So, did I get it all right, Mrs. Carpenter-Tipton? I got it just about right. The new assistant principal at Chenal Elementary, Mary Carpenter-Tipton. And last is Christopher Michael Shook. I had a feeling that was you, Mr. Shook. I've been watching you sit out there. Assistant principal at Robinson High School. Mr. Shook is a math teacher and a head boys basketball coach at Maumelle High for 18 years. He's been the 5A men's basketball coach of the year 4 different times. So Mr. Shook will be assistant principal at Robinson. Welcome, Mr. Shook. There's a lot of good people here with a lot of instructional background, and they were selected carefully through a process that works pretty well. I want to commend Human Resources and all of the work done by the principals and the volunteers and the teachers that come to do these interviews. It takes a lot of work to select such good people, but we're very proud to have all of you. You're going to be a good group of people to help improve the schools in your area. So thank you for being here. That's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
I went to school with Heather Allison, but I don't remember where.
Ma'am?
I went to school with Heather Allison, but I don't remember where. Was it elementary or middle school?
He didn't ask her where she was staying.
Okay.
She left.
Our next item on the agenda are approval of last meeting's minutes. We have a lot because we went through multiple special meetings to select a superintendent. So I'm going to take all the special meetings as one vote, if that's okay, but then do the regular meetings separate. So what you're seeing is first, I'll take a motion on April 8th, 2025.
Motion.
Dr. Tate's made a motion. Who has seconded?
Me.
Ms. Maynard has seconded. So this is the 4/8/25 minutes. Discussion? All in favor of approving the April 8th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes. So for the next one, since they were all special meetings and we really didn't have a lot of votes, there was like 2 actual votes inside of that. I would like to take a motion for the minutes of 4/9, 4/10, 4/15, 4/17, and 4/21 all together.
Motion.
Ms. Ward has made a motion to approve that
Second.
batch of 5 minutes, and Ms. Maynard has seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of approving the 4/9, 4/10, 4/15, 4/17, and 4/21 minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes. We did have a April 11th on our agenda, but I don't think we met then, so that's why that's not in there if you're watching. Okay. That brings us down to new business. Our first item on new business is our 23-24 legislative audit. Ms. Rowlett. Does she know?
I believe she stepped out earlier. She may be outside.
I thought we went over that before.
We went over it before. We had to put it on the agenda to approve it. I wonder if she knows. Okay. Because I sent that to Ms. Richards. Yeah. Okay, let's. Okay, we're gonna keep scrolling, and then we'll come back to her. Is that okay, Dr. Warren? You good to run yours? Okay. So our next one is the 25-26 Parent-Student Handbook. It's got Mr. Bratcher on here, but I feel like there's another person we might hear from.
You knew that. Thank you, board. Good to see you all. Again, we're before you, making sure that we have done what we're supposed to do to get ready to meet state requirements. We always have to bring a committee of folks together, and we did this year. Parents, students, had an excellent group of students from some of our high schools and the middle schools who served on the handbook committee this year, along with teachers and administrators and support staff. So we have some changes that we are bringing before you. And before the meeting started, I gave you a little cheat sheet that looks like this. This is what I used at principals meeting when I was explaining to them new things that I needed them to be aware of as far as the handbook that we were bringing to you tonight. I'm going to quickly go through them, and then the chair of the handbook committee, Mr. Bratcher, is going to give you the hard part, electronic devices. That's the biggie. That's the big change, and that's going to be the big change for all school districts in the state of Arkansas next year. The first change, and if you looked at yours, if you wanted to look at everything, notice we gave you a key. Everything that's in yellow that you see in that handbook is something new, added. Everything that is in red, we removed it. It's coming out of the handbook, so that's just for your information. But one of the big changes is Smart Core. State changed, and what all it's done is updated the Smart Core curriculum for schools until the current years, to meet the current years. So we basically have no control on that. On page 16 in the handbook, another big change for us, and of course we're trying to do what other schools do to make sure that our students and our staff are safe. Next year, we want all of our students in K through 12, and I talked to Ms. Stolzer. She said pre-K would be doing the same thing, but all backpacks will either be mesh or clear, and that's a safety or security type thing. And we're getting this to you tonight because that will give us a chance to get this information, which is new to our parents for next year, about clear backpacks. Another piece, and I'm going to come back to AI. Where'd he go, Dr. Luttrell? While he's getting ready to come up to talk to you about this new artificial intelligence tool that our state is coming up, that's on page 42 in here that we've outlined what's going to happen. The next big thing, student nutrition on page 6 through 61, we're really excited. Pre-K through 12 students in the state of Arkansas will all eat free breakfast, and we're glad about that. That is awesome.
I learned that last
Now,
week.
but what y'all also got to remember, that means all of our students except 6 schools will get breakfast and lunch free because we have those provision, 19, those Provision 2 schools, 19 of our schools were already getting free. So that's really going to help us. On page 62, transportation changes. The transportation supervisors will be handling the discipline on the buses. Those bus drivers write up the referrals now, but they've been bringing them to assistant principals. Now the transportation supervisors will be handling that discipline. And when I shared this with the assistant principals, they all but got up and just cheered for me. They were so excited about that. But Dr. Luttrell, tell them about this new AI that all schools are facing.
Yeah, so we're very blessed as a district to be on the forefront of AI, so we appreciate the policy that y'all passed in February for staff and for students, because it allowed us to create a committee. And so based on the committee, we're going to be able to really go through and protect our students, protect their privacy, but then also educate our students and our staff. So we have a great group of educators, our teacher librarians, the tech staff, people from district office. Every feeder is represented, and within that, really focusing on how do we use AI appropriately within the context of education without taking away from the teacher, but also still being relevant to our students. And so this allows that, and it's based clearly on the policy that you guys passed. That's also based on the new state law that just passed. So it's all in alignment with each other.
So y'all are ahead of the times already on AI. We appreciate
We
that.
just got interviewed today, actually, because we're at the forefront of it, so we're excited about it, so thank y'all.
Any questions about these new parts? I didn't go in the red parts, that were the changes in the ands and the uhs and the periods and the commas and the typos. But are there any questions you might have about those 4 or 5 things until, otherwise, we're gonna get deep into this electronic device. Bell to bell, no sale law, Act 122 for the state of Arkansas.
I had one,
Okay.
and it was about disciplinary hearings that added, I read it as it's like an additional thing. So can you explain how a
A
disciplinary hearing will
disciplinary
work?
hearing is for elementary students. The law will not allow you to expel an elementary student, unless it's just, it has to be, I think the law reads something like harm or damage done to the student or somebody else. So we have started, we're doing it right now, and just to see how it's working, and it's working well. But Dr. Whitfield, who is the Director of Pupil Services and the hearing officer, who's always done all the expulsion hearings for secondary schools, started working with elementary principals this year to do disciplinary hearing. And what a disciplinary hearing is that little second grader and his mom and dad have to sit before the principal and Dr. Whitfield, why are you continuing to behave this way? Those kind of things. In the majority of the times, he can put fear of God in them and they go back and act right. But there are situations where there are a few that he has had to refer to a residential treatment place or homebound, and we provide the education at home. So that's what a disciplinary hearing is. It's just for students in K-5.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Fran. All
I
right.
have a question on the mesh and clear backpacks. Like my daughter graduated in 23, so that was my last one. How long have we had that previously? Because she had it when she was in school. Did we get rid of it and bring it back, or?
Well, and even this school year, some of our schools were doing it on their own. When I was talking to some of the secondary principals, they mentioned, I require my kids to have that now. So we haven't had it as part of the handbook, which is policy. So now we want to bring it for all kids. So, yeah, you are right.
Well, in one of the years, we had trouble finding them, and Walmart told us, well, nobody told us y'all were going to go to clear and mesh backpacks, so that might be something we want to share with some local retailers.
We do. We send our supply list. I think Dr. Whitfield does that, but we do send all of our supply list. Ms. Duff does that, sends our supply list to all of the retailers, and that'll be on the list.
If I remember correctly, in COVID, a lot of I think this is when it really switched from the schools that were doing it.
Yeah.
Was people were being told to seal off all their stuff, so don't do mesh and the plastic, germs, all the things. I think, if I remember correctly, I remember a lot of parents were going to just their cloth backpacks again.
Well, we're going back. We're trying safety reasons now. Y'all ready to talk about bail to bail, no sale?
It's been the best topic I've ever
I know
heard.
it is.
You know I
knew
love
you
it
would
with
love
everything in me.
But keep in mind, I hadn't told you this, our 4 middle schools are piloting right now the bail to bail. So if you hadn't gotten any complaints from your middle school.
No, I've heard.
About the cell phone being taken, well, it's coming. We're working on it. And as Mr. Bratcher speaks to you, IT is getting ready to do a demo with you to show you exactly what the middle schoolers are doing. So we're going to give each one of you all a pouch.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Guess. Our policy that we created as a committee basically mirrors the state law. Of course, there's not going to be any cell phones from bell to bell. Our middle schools are piloting these pouches right now, and in the fall, all of our middle schools will have these pouches. Our secondary schools and our elementaries will not.
Wait, there's 2 different ones. What? Why are there 2 different ones?
So part of our policy is what, the standard procedures for the kids when they come in every day. All of the schools, all of the middle schools will have these devices that he's walking around. They have little magnets on them. You put your phone in the pouch at the beginning of the day. The kids actually keep the phones and the pouches, so the school doesn't have any liability if they're lost or stolen. At the end of the day, there will be strategically placed little devices, magnets is exactly what they are. And the kids will come by, it takes like 2 seconds for them to pop it off. Then they take their phone out, they keep their pouch. When they come back the next day, they repeat the process.
So he would like for you to put your phone in the pouch now.
Which one? Cause
The
you
kids
can't.
gonna
Don't put it in the medical pouch, because
The
that's
kids
a
gonna keep the
Velcro.
pouch?
Yes.
Ma'am?
They gonna be responsible for bringing
Yes,
the
ma'am.
pouch back every day?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
That ain't gonna happen. They forget they,
But what's that?
they forget they
Is this
still.
like the?
They don't lose the
policy,
phone, they're not gonna
part
lose
of our,
these.
we realize that because they're not gonna forget their phone, but they'll forget their pouch.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was thinking.
So we've incorporated things into the policy to help deal with that.
Like
So-
fines or money.
Well, if they lose their pouch, the cost of them would be on the parent, it's $30.
They don't care about that.
They got a cell phone.
True, true.
And their option is not to bring your cell phone.
So
Can't keep up with your pouch.
we had an amazing panel last week at the law class that I went to, and it was four North Arkansas
say
schools,
students.
principals and superintendents who've been doing
Oh, that's
this
the medical.
for a year,
Yeah.
right?
That
And
need to-
I was in awe. I think my favorite one was, when they didn't
You have to.
do
Like
right,
the
they had to use the
security
magnetic
devices at
back.
Retailers.
So they could have the option to not, and then
Man.
your punishment was you got this, lockdown, right?
We gave you one that is a
So now we shut
Velcro
it?
pouch. Our students who have a medical condition where they have to take blood sugars or whatever, then the nurse,
If I
goes
could bring my
to,
knife in
teacher,
here.
librarian.
Can I go on
goes-
Amazon and get me one of those little
They
boxes?
receive the medical pouch
Are you
so they
serious?
can put their
Hey,
phone
that's a good way to find out who's got
Can
it.
I
on.
go on Amazon
They
and buy
have to-
that and open these?
into their phone. That's why I
Everybody
gave
have
you
a medical.
Go to TJ Maxx.
They can all
Oh,
have medical.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is, some of these magnets are really strong, and they can fry your phone.
Yeah.
They gonna fry their phone and then blame you.
Absolutely.
Wait, now, is it done just because I shut it or
I
not?
was gonna take a picture of this, but my phone is in here.
So, okay, so it's secured. Now, it can still be on, right? This does not shut, like, block it from signal? Okay, so that's the other
Okay,
thing.
get my phone out of here.
Scott, bring your handheld over here too.
Nope.
Bratcher and Dr. Warren put my phone
Already.
in
Need to go to
permanent
rehab.
So that's my whole question is, if they don't shut their phone off, there is a timer going off in their phone or an alarm, or there is, some, social media updates, there's feed going through the phone and there's noise in the classroom. So then they're sent, what, to an office? Is that kinda like the idea?
Consequences are in there.
Consequences,
Yeah,
okay.
they are
I know y'all
consequences.
thought it through, I'm just like, boom, okay.
Yeah, the first step is to turn it off, so
Amen.
that's what we like them to do. Of course, they will make mistakes and not.
He's not giving you yours back.
I need it back.
We'd unlocked yours.
I love you. I can't believe you're gonna be the new head of
You were
everything, the
using
new
your phone
Jimmy.
too much.
Can you show me how to do this again? Wow, that whole 30 seconds just
They're
like
on
gave me
ball.
anxiety. Dang, y'all are gonna be having so much fun, but
And in each middle school, there are, mounted unlocking stations at the front or wherever car riders go out. There are like 2 or 3 unlocking stations. And wherever the exit is, where the bus riders go. So as kids are leaving the building each day, they're unlocking their phones and getting in the car or getting in, on the bus.
so how slow you think that's gonna make bus loading?
When we talked to Conway, they said it did not slow things down at all.
Cause you got a lot of them, you got
And
several.
plus, they strategically place them, so there's not 100 kids waiting at one, they all kind of flow through.
How many do each, does each, like, will Sylvan Hills, because they've got many exit points. Sylvan Hills does, where they, some of them go to band out the back, some of them go to.
And that's where they have them.
Okay.
The, IT people did a walkthrough with the principals, and they put them wherever the exits were, where they told them their students are in.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Interesting. I mean,
So like during lunch,
I'm good.
breaks, are they allowed to?
No.
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
law says from the time they walk in the building in
To
the
the time
morning
they leave.
until the last bell rings, that phone
There's
has to
no
be
option.
put away, no option. They can have it after school for after school activity.
And there are a few exceptions that we've also included in the policy.
Which would be
After
for those that,
school,
well, those,
Concurrent credit,
They're in there.
yeah.
If you look
I
at what
read
we
it.
gave you, we put exceptions in that policy that the law said we had to.
anything involving an IEP or a 504, for a student who is enrolled in an endorsed concurrent credit enrollment course, after a school day for extracurricular activities, during an emergency, and issued by the school district during the school day.
Okay, so, emergency. You're gonna have kids hammering down the hallway to get to
No.
that thing to unlock their phones?
I'm not sure what kind of emergency that could be, because that would just create more issues. That's why most administrators are happy that this law is coming into effect, because if there is an emergency, cell phones that kids have create more chaos, and sometimes the whole story isn't provided to the parents, and of course, they sometimes flock to the school, which hurts any kind of emergency effort by law enforcement or anyone else, so.
Is there a way that we can allow a designated parent email address to our students in case of some sort of an emergency, at least for middle school and high school kids? So, for example, I take Luke and pick him up every day. If for some reason I get caught up at work and I can't get to him and things are hectic in the afternoons, they may not answer the phone in the office and get him, they may not be able to find him to get a message to him. So I feel like right now, I just text him and I say, I'm not gonna be able to get there to pick you up, so-and-so's gonna pick you up, or I'm gonna be a few minutes late or whatever. But I feel like we need a way for parents to be able to get in touch with, probably most importantly, high school students. Because like I use texting to get a hold of him in an emergency type situation. So can we look at that?
That's above my pay
No,
grade.
ma'am.
Can I answer that
The
for
answer
you,
is
since I
no,
have the
ma'am,
kid who does
because
that?
And that's what is put in there with the law. There will be no bell to bell, is how it's spelled out. And the question was asked, what if I need to get a message to my child? And the response was, we're going back to the old fashioned way, you call the office and the school will give them a message. But I know what you're saying, during pickup time, that evening time, that phone is ringing off the hook.
Well,
But I know what you're
But
saying.
he would also have access to
To his phone
as soon
after the
as he
bell.
left
That's
the
right.
Went out the
instructional
door.
day.
Now,
But you could always call the office as well, Ms. Potter. My thought is, if they're unable to answer a phone, they're more than likely not going to be able to answer an email either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wish that there was
Yeah.
some sort of a way that at least one parent email address could be designated to be able to get in touch with a high school student.
We
Miss
know,
Potter.
we understand.
Google Chat.
They also have Chromebooks that have email accounts.
Well, I mean, I can email my kid, but a parent who doesn't have a district email address can't, because it's blocked.
Didn't know that. Makes sense.
So, Google Chat. That's what they talked about last week. Most kids already talk to each other at school on Google Chat in the classroom. But that's how I communicate with Tatum if I need something and she's got her computer on, I can send her a message. She can read it. Yeah. So, just another app on your phone, but they can get in their computer, do the same thing.
They won't have access to their phone.
And they've
I'm
already been
okay with
doing
that. I
that
was
part.
just hoping that we could
Yeah.
designate a parent
Have some
email
way to get a
address.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that's monitored by the district anyway, so if there's something inappropriate going on, then somebody in IT is gonna catch it.
Other,
Y'all good? Any other questions? You see the consequences part in here that this is what the students, and we carried it to the principals and assistant principals. So, the law basically outlined what the PED was. You know, we didn't do that part. And the schools had to add their consequences in the procedures.
Okay, so what about staff? Teachers in the classroom during classroom time?
That's a good question. And the law specifically says, this law does not pertain to the adults in the building. But that was a conversation that I did have with principals and APs, that surely you're gonna make sure your teachers during the class period are not on their cell phone. But it is specific in the law.
We had somebody bring up in the conversation that they had a teacher that always had a Coke at her desk, and how they couldn't have drinks in the classroom, and how just watching her drink her Coke just about killed them. So that cracks me up, because it's totally true, right? Like, the teacher on their phone during class, because they're doing busy work or studying on a computer or taking a test, and she's checking her her emails while, or whatever, and they're in the middle of their test, and they're like, she's got her phone.
I
That's
just
not
thought
fair.
it was odd that that clause was in the law, that this does not pertain to adults. It's strictly students, bell to bell, no sale.
So you just need a motion for.
approve the motion, yeah, we need a motion to approve.
the handbook right
Okay.
Can I do it? A motion to approve the bell-to-bell cell phones in the pockets.
The whole handbook.
You need the whole
Whole
handbook,
handbook,
including
but really
all
it's
the-
about the cell phones first.
Okay,
2025-26 handbook, yes, sir, let's
Okay.
go.
all right, motion by Ms. Smith, second by Dr. Tate.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Last discussions?
The teachers are gonna be so happy.
All right, I'm gonna put, the 25-26 handbook to a vote. All in favor of approving the 25-26 handbook as presented, say aye.
I
Opposed?
love it.
Okay, there you go, Dr. Warren, Mr. Bradsher. All right,
3.5 years.
now, Mr. Johnson, your run. We're gonna run through all the operations, items.
Let's not run, how about we walk away?
Okay, fair enough.
Please and thank you, Mr. Delaney. You guys have a motion in regards to Harris Elementary. We've talked about it in detail. I'm just looking for approval to
Okay.
move forward.
Okay, so, yes, so it's, were there two numbers on there? Which is the number that you were wanting?
The numbers on Harris, the 2,000,001 is the one that I would prefer. Please and thank you.
Well, what's the difference?
Difference of square footage cost.
Okay,
So you're looking at 21,100 square feet for 18,016,343. The cover of 28,900 square feet is a 21,47,166.
well, what's the recommendation of the administration here?
My recommendation is the 28,900.
Okay, so the 28,900 square feet for $2.14 million?
That's correct.
All right, and that's within our budget and everything, that's what you've talked about, right?
That's
This is the
correct.
one, okay. All right, but not the additional scope?
I'm sorry.
Just the 2.1, because it's got two base budget prices and an
Yes, sir.
additional scope.
So this is the base budget, but here's the thing. Part of the architect fees have already been paid out of the budget, right? So that's gonna decrease that by, I think it's $250,000 that we've already paid for architect fees. Let me go back and review that number, but it's gonna be less than that, but it gives me more wiggle room to do the painting and everything else that's not a part of the initial scope.
All right, so we need a motion on 28,900 square feet for 2.14 and change.
That's correct.
We'll take a motion.
Motion.
Ms. Ward has made a motion to approve the Harris Elementary renovation. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Tate has seconded. Any other discussions or questions? And this is what you need to now so that you can get it set up if we move forward with the move on College Station, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna put it to a vote, 28,900 square feet project. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that's what you need, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, exactly what we need.
All right, sorry I made you wait so long.
It's okay, not a
All right.
problem. It's worth it.
All right, next, we have the 2025 school safety grant, the numbering system. Oh, yeah, but I'm doing a Mr. Johnson run right now.
That's right.
So just, I'll get you, I'll put you in right before the board policies. Okay. Next up, we have the school safety grant, the numbering system.
Mr. Thomas. I'm gonna stand aside and let Dave Thomas spearhead this one.
Okay.
Good evening, Board. Good to see you and come before you once again. As I promised about a month ago, I'd be coming back for the second two parts of the grant. If you notice, they've got it listed on the agenda tonight, item number 4 and item number 7. I can do them in that order if you like, or what I prefer is to go ahead and present them both now.
Okay, they both relate to each other?
They're both related.
Okay, do them,
It's all
yeah,
part
let's
of the
do
same
them, let's
grant.
do them both together.
So if that's okay with you, I'll
Yeah.
go through those.
We'll do them separate votes though, but just
Yes.
present them
Yes.
as if you're doing both at the same time.
Number one, we'll go, you should have copies of Little Rock sign, Conway sign. That one is, actually came in a little bit lower than the amount we estimated. It came in at $293, $697 and 32 cents, which is about $2,977.68 less than what we had appropriated for it. But we're gonna leave that, we're gonna accumulate the complete grant amount for contingencies that we didn't anticipate, because we're doing this in such a protracted scale, trying to get everything done and approved before June 30th. So if you'll bear with me on that. That is what this Little Rock signs from Conway Signs is. That is the numbering of the school classrooms. If you notice on the second or third paragraph, we're talking about interior doors and in a quantity of about 37 doors that we're talking about. And and we also, a second amount for the signage on the windows, exterior windows on the first level classrooms for these particular doors. So, for these particular classrooms.
Dave, if I can, let me interject just a little bit. So this grant is a safety grant, and the numbering for the exterior on the first floor is for first responders to be able to identify classrooms where we may have trauma or some type of issue at. Additionally, the signing portion of it is part of the safety grant as well, as far as being able to label proper doors throughout the district. Where we have some conflicts sometimes, even in building new buildings. Prior to my arrival, you may have the IT department number their doors one way. Maintenance may number doors a different way. Planning may number doors a totally different way. So this is basically unifying or getting uniformity across the district as far as a door numbering system goes, and that's what this grant is helping us to be able to do. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Thank you. Any questions on that one? Okay.
So we're still on are we still on the Conway?
Yes, sir.
The one with the Conway, okay.
And this is being paid by that grant,
Pardon me?
correct? This is all grant money?
Yes, ma'am.
We're approving?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Any more questions on the Little Rock sign, Conway Signs?
Why does it say at the bottom, and this may be a misprint, but products manufactured, supplied by Little Rock Sign, Conway Sign remain the property of same until signage is, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
just answer my question.
Right, okay.
It sounded funny in my head, but out loud, totally different.
I
Right.
make a motion that we approve the school numbering system.
Okay, so whatever I said we were gonna do, we're not gonna do it that way.
Okay.
So motion by Ms. Maynard and second by Ms. Smith to approve the Conway sign, Little Rock sign, Conway sign, proposal. That's what you want, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
That's piece
All right.
number 2.
Okay, and then which is your school numbering system on your agenda, okay? All right. Questions or discussion before? All right, so let's put it to a vote to approve the Conway sign, Little Rock sign numbering, school numbering system. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so you got that one,
Thank you for writing that grant.
and then,
Save me some money.
and then you're gonna do the safety grant, the safety door, right?
This is the third piece, which is I spoke about this in the last meeting when I came before you. This is where they're getting rid of all the old style push button up and push panic bars that can be chained together. And this quote that we're looking at here, it's actually two. One is for the materials, the other one's for labor. The one listed is Westco. If you look at that one, that's the one for all the hardware, doors if necessary, whatever it is that we need to make this happen. That particular one is totaling in the amount of $306,462.39. The next piece to this, if you look at it, says Baldwin and Shell. That is for the labor to install all of this equipment once it's amassed and into the various schools. And the total amount for those came in at $351, $310, and 39 cents. We had allotted a total of $400,000 for that, so we came in a little under what we allotted, but that gives us extra money for contingencies that we haven't anticipated during this process. So
smart.
that would be giving us total in our grant amount of sorry, I didn't write it down. That would bring us to the total of our grant amount of $853,000. You'll have to excuse me for a minute. I put the letter in here somewhere. Sorry, I did not print the letter. But that would complete our allotted grant amount of, I believe it's $3,867.
Okay, so the first one we approved last month, right?
That was
You came to the special
$153,000.
meeting, and so that was your first one.
Yes, sir.
Then the one we just approved is your second one, right?
Yes, sir.
And then
And
this will be your
the
third.
piece.
This is
This is
your
the last
third piece, and that'll
That
mostly
will
clear
complete
you out. That'll
the expenditure for the grant.
zero you out,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
I make a motion, we approve the grant, the safety grant, door touch bar exit devices.
Yep, okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Maynard to approve the safety grant door proposals.
Second.
Ms. Smith has seconded. Discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for
Thank you
saving
so
us
much.
money.
We'll get to work. Thank you so much.
Okay, and we'll put it to a vote. All in favor of approving the safety door grant proposals for Wesco and Baldwin and Shell, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you all.
all right. I see you, Ms. Rowlett. Who else? Oh,
she
we're not
stood there
done.
for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
We're not
yeah,
there
yeah,
yet.
yeah, okay, all right. All right.
It's Jeff's turn.
I was getting greedy. I saw we were at 7 all of a sudden, so. All right, so
Good
we're
evening,
at
Board.
5. Hey.
The operations team was tasked with getting pricing for a two-classroom modular portable building to go at the Robinson High School for their driven program. I got prices to rent. I gave you 3 options. Prices to rent. We know we're gonna want this at least for 3 years, so that's why I just did the math times 3 years. Compared to pricing for a used unit to purchase, compared to pricing for a new unit to purchase. It is the unanimous recommendation of the operations team to please go with the new unit, option number 3. It has a 1-year warranty. It'll be new. We know we're gonna have this for a while, so we'd like to start out with a fresh slate, something worth having. And, so that's what we're here to ask for your approval.
New purchase or new rental? New purchase or new rental?
New purchase.
New purchase, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Tate had a question.
That equals the 146,358 that's there. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
They were the low bidder for the,
the specific proposal you're wanting is for mobile module
mobile modular.
New
New purchase.
okay. So the motion would be to approve the mobile module new purchase proposal.
That's right.
What is the life expectancy of these portables?
It's a lot
Arkansas
better.
weather permitting.
We've got some that have been in play forever, like the ones at Baker Elementary. We're paying, to show you just an idea, we were paying $900 a month for a unit. We got 3 units there.
We are or were?
We are. Still paying. Present tense. All right, but here's the deal. The new cost for them are $2,000 a month just to rent. They've gone up since COVID doubled, right? And so we know that we're gonna be on this site for a minute. It just made better sense for us to own it and buy it brand new. We don't have the issues. The quality of mobile, modular quality of unit is a lot better than Will Scott, which is what we have. Will Scotts are horrible, and I'll just make it plain from my perspective, because we've had to go in and do some maintenance on our end just to maintain it, to bring it back to their standards, which when we turn it back to them, they just lease it to somebody else. But I'd much rather for us, if we're gonna make this type of investment and spend $2,000 a month for the next 3 years, then we might as well be getting the money's worth out of the issue.
You've almost bought it anyway. At least this way you have something to show for it at the end of 3 years.
So, quick little, question. Have we thought about asking them, can we just buy the ones that we've been using for all these years? Because it's the same ones, right? We've
We
had
have,
it
but I
since-
wouldn't buy them. I give them back.
Yeah, they still have to come get them, right?
They can come get them. I mean, the maintenance that we have to do for them, it's not worth it. It's my opinion.
And then Robinson's gonna use this one until we complete the new classrooms?
And after.
You just said,
And then some? And then we'll use it other places, it was where I was going, but you're saying, okay.
Theoretically, that's an option.
Look, I grew up in all those, portables from elementary to Northwood, so I understand portables. We've always had to have them, but.
Unfortunately.
Motion to approve the
Second.
Okay, Dr. Tate has made a motion and Ms. Ward has seconded, and that motion is to purchase the new trailers, or the new portables from Mobile Modular. That get you what you want there?
Please and thank you.
Okay. All right, let's put it to a vote. All in favor of the new trailers from Mobile Modular, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. There you go. Thank you all for
sir.
that.
Thank you all.
And next up, we have the PCSSD Admin Office Open Channel Grinder.
Affectionately referred to as the Muffin Monster is the technical name.
You
for
said that with a straight face and everything.
I can't make this up.
I can't even.
I can't make it up, right? So when we tied in to Sweet Home Higgins Red Oak sewer platform, we didn't know the amount of debris that would potentially be getting into their system. That's creating some headaches for them and us. So for example, when items go through our platform and hit their pump that's across the street on Dixon Road, it's costing $25,000, $18,000 to $25,000 to replace the pump because it's destroying their pumps. As you go from here to Wrightsville, where all of the waste is being processed at, there are all types of debris that's entering this line going down. From our perspective, we've got 4 buildings feeding into this platform, and to be good stewards over this process, the last thing I want to do is tear up people's pumps along the way. We have pumps throughout the district. We're not strangers to those. But to make sure that this district is taken care of, this Muffin Monster, if you will, is put in place to basically capture large debris. And basically, our team goes through just like we do at some of our other schools.
I just can't. I'm just
Good.
glad you didn't bring a picture.
Right. To make sure we can take care of that debris. This is one of those items that took forever from Department of Health to get final approval to just even be able to have the conversation. So we're at a space now that we're able to move forward, and I'm looking for your blessing to approve this.
Okay, so what we need is a motion on the PCSSD Admin Office Open Channel Grinder.
I'm looking for, where's the grant money? Because Mr. Thomas brought us grant money. What?
This is not a grant. And good luck with that one on this one.
I make a motion that we approve the Muffin Monster.
With no grant money.
Okay, all right. Ms. Maynard has made a motion to approve the Open Channel Grinder, the Kinko proposal. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Ms. Smith has seconded. We want to belabor this some more?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna put it to a vote. All in favor of the Open Channel Grinder, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
straight face. I'm pretty proud.
And Miss Rowlett has to follow that.
All right, we're catching Ms. Rowlett with her.
Thank you, I apologize. Yeah, there's a delay on the recording when you're watching it, so I was a little late, so I thought I had a little bit more time. This is just, to give you all, the findings that were on our audit. The audit has already been, accepted at the clearinghouse. Once we have our, exit audit, we did our exit audit in February, we wrote our responses in March, and then we have to go ahead and certify it. So that's already been done. So this is just for informational purposes. Just to let you all know, we had 3 supplemental findings, and supplemental findings are just that they talked to us about those findings. And one of them was actually we accrued for some money in 2 funds, and it was about $5,700. So we've just put a process into place that will make sure that before the budget managers give those journal entries to do that to the staff accountant, we would just review those and make sure that we're actually going to get that money. So that was $5,700, which is small compared to when you're dealing with almost 200 million in all your funds. The second supplemental finding was we inadvertently sent incorrect payroll file to the bank. And so we put a system in place for that. She just grabbed the wrong file, and we were able to grab it back. But before we reversed the file, we had about $4,200 that we were unable to collect from people that no longer worked at the district. But we have a system in place for that now. And the other supplemental finding, which used to be a management letter, is the segregation of duties. So that's really good because it used to be a management letter, and a management letter is just just a little bit more severe than a supplemental finding. But we got it every year, so now they just moved it down to a supplemental. Okay, so we had 3 management letter findings, and one of them was one that we actually self-reported in its management letter because it was activity, and it was an unauthorized withdrawal totaling $2,500 was made from a district account on May 22nd. The school accountant, bookkeeper rather, she found that, so we got those back. So, but we still had to get a management letter because it's activity. The second management letter was in relation to the payroll file. So that's kind of a double dip there. The third management letter, and as I said, management letter is something they actually give you a letter, and it's a little bit more severe than a supplemental, was that we did a double dip. We paid for some hot spots out of our ESSER funds, but we also got a reimbursement for what we call E-rate reimbursement on it, and that was $80,000. So because it was federal, we got a management letter for that, so we have also written a response for that. But that's a rarity where we'll have both of those kind of funds at the same time. So we have contacted the feds. They will send us a letter saying that they agree with it, then they'll send us an invoice, and we'll send that $80,000 back. But that's out of Fund 5, not out of our operating fund. So it still was a good audit considering the amount of money and the number of employees we have that deal with all of our finances. So, and like I said, it has been certified. The law doesn't require for you to sign anything anymore. It's just informational purposes. And it is on our website if you want to look at the whole detailed audit.
Okay. Well, they've got it. We've got it on our agenda as well. So.
Okay. All right.
Legally, we need a motion to accept or approve the audit that Ms. Rowlett presented.
Motion to accept.
Dr. Tate has made a motion to accept the audit. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Smith has seconded. All in favor of accepting this is the 23-24 audit, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the 23-24 audit, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rowlett. Okay. Do we want to break, or do we want to power through Dr. Williams' stuff? I'm hearing power. Okay. All right, Dr. Williams, what do we have first? The board policy, all the SMART Core stuff.
Good evening, Board. This actually has come before you before. It just has some additional language regarding community service learning. As you know, that is a new initiative that we include for our graduates. And so the request was to include in the policy how students actually gather those hours and what the parameters are that we have in place in the district, so that students and parents have easy access to it on our board, on our website. So as you'll notice in the document that was uploaded, those areas in bold, as we do with our format, are the areas that were included, giving the various options of how to earn hours during the day, how to earn them outside of the day, you know, acceptable programs and things of that nature. And so that's the information that was added to this particular policy.
All right, so Dr. Williams needs a motion to approve her SMART Core policies,
Motion to approve
the SMART Core policy set, okay.
smart board policies. Second.
Okay, Ms. Smith has made the motion and Ms. Maynard has seconded the SMART Core policies. Last questions or discussions for Dr. Williams? Okay, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor of the SMART Core policy changes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. There you go, Dr. Williams. Next up, we're doing a certified PPC proposal coming to us, licensed personnel sexual harassment policy.
Yes, good evening, Board and Dr. Guest. We have the licensed personnel sexual harassment policy, and one thing that I did realize that I didn't bold part of it, or so you could tell the difference, but I can tell you now, like that first paragraph, that was already in our policies. I just realized that. And then on the second page, where it says within the educational environment, that's, part of that is also already in our policy. A lot of this is based on the model policy coming from the Arkansas School Board Association.
I checked it between what you have and the model policy, and it looked on, I checked between the two, you know, the model policy and what you presented us, and I didn't see a lot of differences.
Right.
Were there really even any? Or
Just
changing
that
it?
part, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just the top part, and then the supportive measures, it was different with the formal complaint, but this is coming from the model policy.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And I'll just jump in and add, we have done these policies for students, and that what they did was they changed it to sex-based. I don't know if you remember when,
It's gone
the
back,
students,
yes.
I know.
Yes.
They changed it to sex-based, so our current policy on the website is that policy, and so now that they've changed it, as I go through those updates in the summer, that will go back to sexual harassment.
And that's simply because of the 2020 law was sexual harassment, and then the 2024 laws, federal laws, they kind of changed it to sex-based, and we always talked about what does that mean, and then they went back to say, no, just say sexual.
Okay. Questions on this policy proposal? This would go into effect for the 2025-26 school year, right?
Motion to approve the
Yes.
licensed personnel sexual harassment policy.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Smith has made a motion to approve the policy proposal. Ms. Ward has seconded. Any other questions? Okay, I'll put the proposal to a vote. All in favor of approving licensed personnel sexual harassment policy proposal, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, next, we
And then
have,
the artificial intelligence,
AI.
that's just, part of the law, and I know this, you've already, approved one, in the board policy, so this is just what's, just based on law and this board policy as well.
Motion to approve artificial intelligence
policy
policy
proposal. Okay, and I need a second.
Second.
Ms. Maynard is seconded, so we've got a motion and a second on the AI proposal for certified. Go ahead. Just, you already, yeah, that's your presentation, right?
And also that we'll be having more policies, come next month.
Okay.
That needs to be implemented based on what was passed in the legislature.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna put this one to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so the AI proposal for certified is adopted. Next, that's.
Oh, and I also wanted to say that last week, I know you all were aware that last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and we just greatly appreciate everything that our teachers have done. This school year, we're wrapping it up. A few more weeks. Students are ready. Everybody is ready to have a fun summer. You know, take a break, but learning is still occurring, even though, you know, we're at the, you know, we know we still have to teach our students to get them ready for the next move in the next grade level. So I just want to say thank you to the board for everything that you've done to support our students. Thank you for everyone here in central office as well who's done so much to support our students, even our support staff as well. Just we all work together as one big family to make sure that we're educating our children, because we want to see those test scores go up for next year and still be in the top 5 and top 10%. So I just want to say thank you to our educators.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Okay, so we're switching over to classified now for the classified grievance procedure. Just the posture on this is we sent one down to classified, and then classified has had it for about 2 months, right? And y'all worked on something, and you've modified it, and you're bringing it back to us. And that's where we are.
Yes.
Okay.
So looking at the grievance policy that was given to us, we felt the need to kind of break it down to be more catered to the classified side, because we have so many different ways that we can report to a person. It's not just like certified, they report to just, you know, building admins or directors, as opposed to on the classified side, we have supervisors, directors. So we wanted to break down the grievance policy to where it would make sure that all classified staff knows exactly where to start their grievance, who to start their grievance with, and how it should end. So on the level 1, we added where, well, we broke it down between building level classified employees and non-building level classified employees, because we know that the building level classified employees, they usually report directly to a principal. And this is with the exception of student nutrition. As opposed to non-building level classified employees, they can report to a supervisor, or a coordinator, or director, or foreman. So that was the reason why we have broken down the grievance policy the way that it is. It's a little bit more in detail than on the certified side.
Okay. And that was the main thrust of your changes, right?
Correct.
Was to customize it to the circumstances of this district's classified personnel.
Correct.
Okay. All right, and otherwise, it's still the model policy. It still has a good part of what was in the model policy, just
Correct.
specific. Okay, all right. Questions? We did a licensed grievance procedure. Ms. Robinson and the PPC, we went through that last month. This is yours, and so they won't match because classified and certified aren't exactly the same in terms of how they operate, but they are both based on model policy, and they have some of the same features. So, questions? Okay. The motion would be to adopt the proposal from the grievance procedure proposal from the classified.
Motion to approve the classified grievance proposal.
Okay. Dr. Tate has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Potter has seconded. Okay. All in favor of adopting the classified grievance procedure proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols.
I'm sorry, would this be effective?
Oh, yeah, what we
July 1.
July 1, yes. Good catch. I was going to ask that too. So this will not go into effect until the 25-26 school year. Okay. All right. Next up, certified allocation revision.
Okay. Let me see. So that document is really a small document. What it is at the last meeting, at the meeting in April, when we did certified allocations, there was a request to delete Director of Elementary Ed and to delete the Director of Secondary Ed. To rename the Director of Secondary Ed. After some conversations had after that meeting, there was a request to do a revision of that and to reverse that action and bring back, keep the other two positions, because remember there were two positions that were deleted as well. The Director of Humanities and Learning Services, the Director of STEM and Blended Learning. We deleted the Director of Secondary Ed, the Director of Elementary Ed, and created a Director of Learning Services. So after that meeting and some discussion, the request was to revisit that, reverse that action, leave the two deletions of the Director of Humanities and Learning Services, the Director of STEM and Blended Learning, and reverse the action on deleting the Director of Elementary and Secondary Ed, and do an adjustment to the index to be in line with what the index currently is. Those positions that were deleted were 1.39, and so the request is to make this one a 1.39 and leave the elementary one frozen. We're not going to fill that position at this time, but we're looking at, instead of doing the Director of Learning Services, do the Director of Secondary Ed instead, and do some reallocations of duties with another position.
So we started with 4 and we ended up with 2, is that?
Well, we started with, in essence, we started with 2 that were active, 2 that were inactive, and ended with 1. And now we're saying we'll have 1 inactive and 1 active.
But how many director positions?
It'll just be one, it'll still be just 1 active.
1 active.
It's just the old position with an updated index. And then the elementary would have the updated index, but it will be frozen as it is now. As it was, and available should new administration choose to use it at a later date, instead of having to go through the process of bringing it back again. Since we're having to do this revisit now, just do it at one time, keep it frozen, and then it'll be available should it be needed later. But not to be open this year. Of course, if it needs to be unfrozen, it would have to come to the board again.
So when you say index change from 1.34 to 1.39, what is that 0.054?
5%.
Yeah, and
what does that mean?
it equals out to about $4,500. And what it is it's the same amount that the positions that we cut, that we're replacing this with, that's the index that they're currently on. So the 2 positions that we cut, that are current positions now, the Director of STEM and Blended Learning, the Director of Humanities and Learning Services, their current index is a 1.39.
So it just leaves it where it was.
Where it currently is.
That's all it does.
So
Leaves it where it has been.
this is a lot of moving chairs around here, but at the end of the day, there's still 1 chair left,
It's still
right?
1 chair.
That's right.
And,
It's 1 chair and an empty chair.
that's that nobody can sit in.
Nobody can sit in unless you unfreeze it.
Yeah, it says reserved on it, okay.
Mhm.
And it's still the recommendation of the superintendent that we approve this?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's one chair at a higher rate.
Well, the old rate.
It's the same rate that it's been. It's the same rate that it currently is.
And the other positions that were cut.
Motion to approve the certified allocations revisions.
Okay, a second. So Dr. Tate has made a motion to approve the certified allocation revisions. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Potter has seconded. All in favor of approving the certified allocation revision, say aye. Aye.
Can I ask some questions?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes, sorry.
So the new superintendent will have the ability to come in and make changes at his discretion, right?
Yes, I would.
I mean, the permanent superintendent.
Yes.
Okay.
If he gets that position unfrozen, he still needs that, right? From the
Yeah,
board?
if he chooses to unfreeze that position, he would have to bring it before you all, of course, to vote to unfreeze it.
Okay. Certified allocation revisions, we have a motion and a second. Any last words or questions? Okay, I'm gonna put it to a vote. All in favor of approving this certified allocation revision, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No. No.
2, okay, so I have that 4-2. Is it, it's Ms. Ward and Ms. Smith are no's? Okay. Okay. All right, so Smith for no's, and the other 4 are yes. Okay, next we have the certified hire list addendum or certified hiring list number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the second one, because we
yes.
approved a certified hiring list last time.
Yes.
You can keep adding people to a list.
Yes.
So, this is
some-
your second list.
Some are, as it's noted, location changes. 3 of them actually just were not added originally. They should have been, but others were location changes. We did have one that was a recall. We had a position open up where they could get a position back within their building. Then the changes are listed beside them, title and location change. So as we go through the hiring process, sometimes we find it necessary to move people from one place to another based on, they may be doing a coaching job and we're trying to help balance out things of that nature. So you may see a couple of more fly through here with that on it. And then there was one that we wanted to just officially note what the purpose was with that change, so that it was on the record correct. And so those are the adjustments at this time. Of course, we're in hiring season, so most of them you won't see until you see it in the consent agenda, but these are some that are current personnel that we had decisions to be made, so.
Okay, so you say we already approved the hire list, the main list?
The main list, these are some persons that may have not been added before, or, they were still being observed and, working through plans or things of that nature, or it was a title change. So these are people who were still in the process or some other extenuating circumstance. So they are up for contracts and wanted, in their positions. But these are current people who are working with us now.
Okay, so, I received a lot of emails today regarding Jessica Duff. So was she on the first original list?
No, she's classified, so that position is on the allocations I'm about to address.
Okay.
Mhm. This is strictly certified.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is our second list of certified. It just supplements, there was a big list
Yes.
last time, and then these are the additions that the administration's been working on, and there could be a third one next month, right?
Could be.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Make a motion, we approve the addendum.
Okay, Ms. Maynard has made a motion to approve the addendum. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Potter has seconded. The motion on the floor is to approve the second certified hiring list, the addendum. Any other thoughts, questions? Okay. Put it to a vote. Hiring list number 2, the addendum for certified, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next up, we have allocations, classified allocations.
Okay, so you have, a little packet. So the first packet is, like the spreadsheet I shared with you all last time that had numbers attached. The second item is the booklet, that kind of just has the shorthand version. And then there's a final document that is, part of the process, but, a little different, so I want to address it at the end. But, are there questions on the allocation piece of that packet? And that's, I'm referring to the one with the costs listed on it.
These are all your position changes, your range changes, your days changes. We've got them all incorporated into this packet of information, right?
Yes, sir.
And it went to classified PPC.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they approved it to come here?
They accepted our proposal, yes, sir.
Okay, so we can take action on it tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the proposed classified allocation changes.
Okay, so we have a motion from Ms. Maynard on the classified allocation changes. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Potter has seconded. Questions or discussion on this? Okay. All right, well then I'll put classified allocations to a vote. All in favor of approving the classified allocations, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that's 6-0. All right, that brings us down to our last item of new business, which is our, oh, sorry,
There's one little piece on there, that higher,
range
this-
adjustment?
yes.
You need the range adjustment too, right?
yes.
Okay, I'll
And
give-
it's part of that, it's part of it, but I did
Yeah.
want to speak to it.
Okay, let's, Ms. Richards, let's just do this as a separate motion. So, the range adjustment, the last,
With
last
the
item
yellow
on that sheet.
highlighting. It's the last sheet in that packet. What that is in December, when the board approved the adjustment in range 12 for those first 6 steps, with the bus driver adjustment that was done, it required for adjustments to be made at the next 2 ranges, and you'll notice that there's a shaded area, and those are the steps that had to be adjusted. What we found when we made some adjustments in the allocations, it caused, there are 2 employees that will be affected by this because they fall on step 1 and step 3 of range 13. It's a minimal cost, but I did want to make that adjustment known to you all, but these were required because you have to have a deviation in the amounts, and you can't, go up and go down. So you'll see that in the areas that are white, there were no changes there, but on range 13, step 1, 2, 3, and 4, had someone affected, and so next year, the person who is currently on range 1, on step 1, will be on 2, and the person on 3 will be on 4, and that first person will be on in that little gray area for 2 more years, and the second person will only be on that area for 1 year.
What
So,
page are you talking about?
it's the very last page of, it would have been at the end of that book. So you had the sheet with the numbers, and then behind it was that book, and the very last page.
And this, and which one was this? This is
The allocations and
don't
range
have it.
adjustment.
I didn't see that. I don't see that.
You wanna come look?
Maybe it didn't get attached. You see a book?
Well, in the packet, you
have
have,
two pa-
did
we
you
have
have this, you had 2 pages of this,
Right.
2 of that,
That's it.
that's all we have.
That's it.
and then
Okay, so
It
they are,
should be all of it.
well,
When I clicked on it, I
Nah,
saw all of it. I mean, I'm not doubting you. Now, I can go have some copies made of this for you to see, or I can bring this one up. And what I can tell you is on range, I know I need to be at the mic, I'm sorry.
we lost our, so something
happened.
something happened because the allocations book is missing off of this and that. So,
Yeah.
so I
I
downloaded
uploaded
I
this.
know it's hard to believe,
But it's,
so believe somebody.
it's, this one has been, there've been adjustments, but the last upload had the whole kit and caboodle. 'Cause-
If you'll just give me a second, I'm gonna email it to the board, cause I have
Okay,
it.
awesome.
I'm getting it.
Okay.
Just, let's see if we can do this live. Yeah, here we go.
The book is missing.
Yeah, the book and the last page, but I had it because I downloaded it.
I know,
so-
because we worked hard on getting that rearranged.
I know.
You were trying to get this done, weren't you?
I just pushed it through to you all, just the packet. Anybody's watching at home, there's no conversation in there. It's literally like I was just handing them pieces of paper. The email is titled Allocations Packet.
58 pages.
13 megabytes.
See, I think that was in there before.
It was, yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's the 58 page one. I'll swap it out on your spreadsheet real quick.
Well,
is that the one that has the
I've emailed
allocate?
it
He
to
already
you.
emailed it to him. Okay. But we do need to make it right on the, that's weird.
But what I sent you, if you go all the way to the bottom, that's what's,
Yeah, this was in here earlier, like Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's
Actually,
gone
would
now.
you share what you just shared with Ms. Duff to make sure that she has the right one? Because there have been multiple versions of that document, so,
And that way I can update the website.
yes, please, thank you so much.
I just emailed
Does
it to you
everyone
just
have
now.
access to
Send
that
it to me.
highlighted sheet that says range, that has the ranges on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So on that sheet, and I apologize, you all didn't have it before you, but on that sheet, you'll see some grayed out, cells. Those are the cells that were adjusted to move up in line with the other,
I'm scrolling.
oh, you're still scrolling.
58 pages is a lot of
Yeah,
finger movement
it's a
there.
long document, it
Because you're
is.
saying 12, the way it ended up, 13, 14, and.
Yeah, had to be adjusted.
Because 13 and 14 were lower than 12.
Exactly. So that had to be adjusted, so we wanted to get those numbers, straight, look at those numbers, get them straight, because at the time, it wasn't affecting anyone. But now, as I said, it'll affect two people, for the next couple of years, one for a year, and the other one for 3 years, on that range 13, if they remain in that same position. But originally, we only had one person in the district on the range 13.
Yeah.
So is it motion to approve the range change?
Yeah, the range adjustment. She
Please.
needs a motion on the range adjustments for 12, range 12, 14, and 15. And this went to PPC too?
It did.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so did you make that motion, Ms. Smith?
Motion to approve the range change 13, 14, 15.
Well, it's 12, your changes are for 12, 14, and 15, right?
No, it's 13, 14, 15. 12 has already been, 12 was done in December.
So 13, 14, 15?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the
All right,
grade
got it.
sales, yes.
All right, so Ms. Smith made the motion. Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Maynard is seconded. Okay, so we're just talking about that last sheet.
Yes.
Range adjustment due to, from December 2024 work. Okay. Okay, all right. All in favor of approving this range adjustment chart proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. There you go.
I have one more item.
Okay, yeah, well.
Oh,
it's
okay.
the-
Yes,
it's
that's
the-
that
it's
on
the-
that
it's
one.
It's the classified hiring list, right?
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
last
but
item.
in terms of your allocations stuff,
That's
you've got what you needed out of everything for policies and everything tonight?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, so then our last one is the certified hiring list, or classified hiring list. Number 1, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
that's the hire list that's being presented at this time that, was referred to earlier. So, that list includes persons who are being offered a contract for next year.
Okay. Questions for Dr. Williams or Dr. Guess?
Okay, so we're not supposed to talk about personnel publicly or something?
That would be ideal, yes, it would. That's,
Well, you know, I'm not ideal.
well, I know, but it really depends on to what level that we're gonna get into it.
I mean, I just wanted to address the fact that we received so many letters regarding Jessica Duff, not being renewed, and I don't want it to be, some personal agenda or conflict because of, something that somebody set out to do to get rid of her before their term is out. I just don't want that to be what's happening.
Are you asking me if that's what I'm doing?
I hit dog, we'll holler.
Well, that's certainly not what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
There's no personal agenda here, not at all.
Well, I mean, like I said, you know, when we had people to come in the district that was recommended by you and stated that they had a ulterior motive on what they were set out to do, I just don't want it to be the same thing as far as Jessica Duff concerned. If it's something that, oh, make sure you get rid of her before you go.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Because these people ain't not just writing letters, and I mean, I didn't see nothing she did. I mean, I didn't. Unless it's something personal.
No, not at all.
Okay. There's a lot of people have done worse things, and I've seen them not get reprimanded. I mean, that we've heard about.
Well, there's nothing personal about this. There's no agenda here. It's a matter of my recommendation not to reemploy her.
Okay.
The whole list, so the list is the list of everybody we want to give a contract to for next year. The current recommendation,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Currently here in May, right now. And we've seen that we can have additional lists,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
But the list has everybody on there. And that's what we're approving, is the people on there, not the people who aren't on there
Correct.
tonight. Because that's what you use this list for, is to go back and determine who's
To
gonna
make
be
a
given a
contract.
contract.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we do need to approve this list so you can give everyone on this list a contract, because
That-
presumably they deserve to have their contracts renewed. And that's the recommendation of the superintendent, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the building level classified recommendations.
Okay, so the classified hiring list?
I
Yeah.
just read the top.
Oh, okay, all right. Ms. Maynard has made a motion to approve the classified hiring list. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Potter has seconded. It is the recommendation of the superintendent we approve this list, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All in favor of approving the classified hiring list, the first one, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Williams. Next, we have the consent agenda. I will take a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. Ms. Potter has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Smith has seconded. Discussion on the consent agenda. All right. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. That brings us down to board member comments.
I I just want to say we had a great visit. I know there was a couple of members that came up and spoke about the Driven program. I've been impressed with the Driven program since we had the community meeting on the superintendent search and just what it's done for those students and the numbers that are coming out of there. I invited Secretary Oliva to come and see the program. He was extremely impressed with the program, and hopefully will use us as an example to start rolling that out to some other districts. So he said he wanted to invite some other districts to come in and look at our program. So Bree Thomas that came and spoke, she spoke to us that day, and just very impressive young lady. So it's an awesome program that got over there.
Yeah, I was thinking that we had really a great representation of how great our district is tonight. You know, we had great teachers, we had great staff, we had great students, accomplishing things and succeeding with things, and it was really kind of heartwarming to see all of it tonight.
I love the swimming team. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, first year.
That was really
right?
cool. And I can't even talk about the music. That choir was outstanding.
I know, I was hoping they would sing, and then they did.
I just wish I could sing. I hadn't played an instrument.
Other comments?
Yep. I want to shout out to the Chosen Law group. They assisted me in doing a teacher appreciation for Mills High on Monday, even though it was after Teacher Appreciation Week. But however, I had got word that, I guess, I don't know, our administration don't appreciate the teachers. Y'all don't do nothing, send nothing to them. But anyway, they assisted me financially along with my church to bless the teachers with breakfast on Monday. And yes, I was there serving. And shout out to Lexicon. That was a good partnership and opportunity for our Mills students, as well as they had a 9th grade promotion that I attended on Monday as well. And Lexicon was there, and the Community Alliance Group was there to hand out the certificates of the students to promise their graduation. So it was really good, and Mills did a good job of wining and dining us without the wine, but they had the orchestra group there playing, and they, the culinary group, they cooked and fed us, and it was really nice in the media center, but it was really nice. And I do have a list of concerns from College Station, from the meeting that they had with the NAACP of Little Rock on May the 9th. And what I'll probably do is I'll share them in a group to everyone, so that you'll know some of their concerns and why they're so skeptic about a lot of decisions that are being made by this board. I think that's all, other than, you know, I guess for some reason, people think I lose my voice, but no, I'm not going to lose my voice. I'm still going to sit here, and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to serve, and I'm going to probably uncover a lot of elephants in the room, and that's my purpose. So, y'all have a great rest of the week. And thank you so much for the teachers. Thank you so much for the support staff. And I hope and pray that one day we will be able to really compensate our support staff in the way that they deserve.
God willing.
Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Wait, Dr. Guess.
Sorry.
No, I'm not interrupting that. She got a motion to adjourn.
Ms. Potter.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm really looking forward to the teacher and support staff recognition banquet on Thursday night. I'm super proud of all those people, and I think our Maumelle Middle support staff person of the year wasn't able to be here tonight because she was sick, but I have to shout out to Tackett at Maumelle Middle. She is a gem. So I'm so appreciative of her.
I'm not gonna be there Thursday night. My granddaughter is graduating from high school. And, I've asked, Dr. Whitfield to stand in for me, and she's gonna express my regrets. I'm sorry I can't be there, but gotta go see baby girl graduate from high school. So I hope you understand that.
Yep. Family first.
All right, I had a motion for Ms. Maynard to adjourn. Was there a second?
Second?
Ms. Potter has seconded. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
Ms. Williams, will we get the robes for? I'm gonna bring them. Just, okay. Okay.
It's gonna take me a minute.
What about the parking?